Right. It's time for... Oh my god, this dude is jumping all over the place. It's time for more NieR. Yesterday, when we were NieR and the gang, visited Facade for a royal wedding, where like the Shade Wolf and his wolf buddies, the Swolves, if you will, you know, ruined the wedding, killed Fira, the king's bride-to-be, and so we went on a mission to genocide all the wolves. We did some work here for Gideon, the young boy from the Two Brothers weapon shop, and we genocided some robots. A lot of killing last session. A lot of killing. So he's still not happy until every robot's gone, are you? But by the way, you can call yourself things. Why did I go that? Hee rip him up. Hee. Yeah. I'm gonna just go this way now. But we did manage to get every single key. Keys. As they all slot together thunderously. So we got all our keys we need. It is off to find the Shadowlord's base, his home, his humble abode. Get back our Yona. Time to get back our Yona. This will also mark the last 2 weapons. So that we'll eventually be able to get endings C and D. It's good. Last time we also learned that I can't jump off this. I don't need whatever this is, but I'm gonna pick it up anyways. I don't remember where we ended last session, but I ended up traveling back here to Junk Keep to see if there's any of the big cool 2-handed swords. Oh, that was weird. I did not mean to jump on the scaffolding. No. These are good, these are good. Alright. Stab you. Oh no, we must run now. Oh yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. XP rate plus 15. Oh god. Oh god. This is a mistake. Just run away. Just run away NieR. Just find the boat. Just find the boat. Let's just fucking get out of here. Alright, Lost Shrine. So we know the Lost Shrine is rife with strong-ass shades. Just fucking rife with them. Because we visited here yesterday, on our last session. When we were trying to get the memory stone, or whatever it was. Some magic doodad for some lady. Just knock some of you guys off into the water. Punch. Punch. That did work. Punch again. This is very successful. That could not have gone better. I kinda T-pose through the air. It's fine. That's fine too. One of you weird little wizard shades. Up these long snake eater-like ladders. Speaking of snake eater, that is something I've kind of toyed around with. That idea is, now that I've got the PS3 going and I've got it all hooked up, maybe we go through Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater too, before I unhook it and hook the PS4 back up properly. It's not a terrible idea. Alright. Really don't need to be fighting all you guys, but just we'll fight the ones that are in our way. Oh, our main goal, get all the way back at the top. Top section, we've been a whole bunch of times at this point. I hear them. I feel like the one thing I'm still missing is a really good AoE to just eradicate them way faster. Okay, you can't have a magic barrier and be able to block. Like, that's cheating. Come back here. Well, putting the strength capsule on kind of trivializes these guys even further. Alright, anyways. Out of NieR's way. I forgot how much of a ridiculous aura the capsules give you. It's a little much. Is this right? No, this way. Okay, we were just here, and I've already forgotten. It's through the dreaded block puzzle room, so luckily we don't have to push blocks. Thank God. This would have been awful. Yeah, there we go. Topped off on all sides. Oh, it's boss shade. It's fine. Oh, I'm still standing. I'm getting hit over and over again. But I'm not going down, so it's fine. Just get wall bounced to stay on my feet. It's a good indicator of how tough NieR's become. Well, I guess I'm not full up on medicinal herbs. Oh, you guys can get me, I'm hiding. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I forgot that it saves your cursor. Oops. Yeah, I guess it makes sense that it saves it on the weapon screen. Come on, turn around. There you go. As amazingly powerful as this spear is, spears being very directional and pokey. A little tough to play with. Especially considering how there's no lock on, and it's not even really a soft lock. There kinda is. Like, the auto-targeting for enemies kinda works. Oh. Let's just see. Oh, wait. Back this way. Excuse me, pardon me. Just a man looking for a Yona. Like, once you start comboing the wall, you really can't easily turn around and stop. There we go. Oh, come on. Oh, I picked up a flashy hat! I don't know what that is. I know it's just an upgrade item, but still. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's just a fancy hat. That's fine. I mean, waste not, want not. Just past all these 50 shades that I have to shove my way around. Alright. Almost done with the repeat area. Damn it, Kaine. Yo, sexy ass getting in my way. I should stop doing that. It doesn't really save any time doing the air dash one. Oh, look at the shades down here. Well, you guys, you tried. I mean, I must congratulate you on trying. Worthy effort. Very good. That ain't it. That ain't it. Oh, really? This is it. Whoosh. This is where the Beast Lord was. Medicinal herb? Yeah. Of course. Final save point. Which doesn't mean a lot, because there's still quite it's a fair amount of games still to go. Time for shit to hit the fan.
Such an ominous sight, and yet I find it strangely nostalgic.
Yeah. This is where Weiss and I first met.
Wow! This is where you used to live, Weiss?
Well, yes,
kinda.
I suppose. In a technical sense.
Oh, I can see up your
Pretty
skeleton
nice
butt
digs
meal.
for a floating magazine.
At least it was free from annoying hussies like
Get your
yourself.
skeleton butt. Getting all in that skeleton butt. This is good. I like this. I love it when games give you... This is the point of no return. Do you want to keep going? Yes.
And now the path
Yes, I do.
is open.
God damn it. Damn it, game. Let me drink my coffee. I got coffee all stuck in my mustache. It's pretty, sort of modern day looking, isn't it? Well, Shadowlord's got a pretty fancy place indeed. It's even food. Now, one thing a lot of people miss, you get here, beautiful rooftop garden thing, it's all nice. But there's also skyscrapers out there. Big, modern day skyscrapers. Which kinda doesn't make any sense, because you don't see them in any of the exterior shots of the Lost Shrine. All you really did was kind of like, also you were in a skyscraper. So like, how do you get from the Lost Shrine to like the top of the Lost Shrine, which was a thing surrounded on all sides by a giant pit of water? So how do you get from that to now you're in this? But don't think about it. It's fine. Just keep playing. Don't worry about it.
To whom does the true voice speak?
Oh man, see, we've gone through so many different genres. Now we play How to Fool Boyfriend.
To whom does the true form show itself? You must answer.
It can talk.
I
Talking
ask,
bird.
why did humans disappear from your world?
The hell should I know?
Patience. I believe this is some manner of
Password.
password.
Whatever could the answer be?
A password?
Yes, The correct answer should grant us access to the castle. I feel confident I have heard this somewhere
Aren't you
before.
smart? Yes. Why did humans disappear from the world? Because of a black disease.
I answer because of a black
Which
disease.
is not actually entirely true. It's close, but that's not actually right.
How can humans extend their lives?
By separating body from the soul.
I answer by separating body from soul.
I ask, what is the destination of souls?
They are placed in their corresponding shells.
I answer they are placed in their corresponding shells.
Very well. You are acknowledged as masters. You may enter.
Well then, seems the way
Yeah,
is
so
open.
if you answer wrong or like do anything else like that, you end up just sort of looping back to the beginning of this room. Not like a game over or fail state or anything. You try to go forward and you just end up back in this room again. It's kind of weird. But this is what we want right here. Phoenix sword. Got the whole set now. Aw, yeah. So pretty. So gold and opulent. That's enough. Back to the spear.
It's the twins from
Oh,
the
they came to
village.
wish us well on our way.
Popola, Devila, what are you doing here?
Hey, any chance you'll just go back to the village? This is a very dangerous place. Even if you can find Yona here, you probably can't get her out.
How did you get here?
We're asking questions right now.
That's a little smarmy. I'm here to rescue Yona. So, I think if you answer this one, you actually can leave. Like it'll kick you out back to like the shrine, and you can actually go back. This is, I think, or it might be a game over. I don't actually know, and I don't really feel like picking it either. Maybe we'll goof around with those things later. I'm here to rescue Yona.
No dice, huh? Well, I guess we don't have a choice. No, I suppose not.
No.
How sad.
Devila, Popola. You gonna sing a song for me? Those are strange looking musical instruments.
We didn't want to fight you.
Oh,
It's true.
the rest of the track kicks
We
in.
didn't want to.
Wonder Twin powers activate. Form of getting speared.
What's happening?
We never thought you'd grow to be this powerful.
This is madness. Why do you block our path?
You have no cause to speak so against Grimoire Vice. You are a traitor.
These are the parts of the game where I need to actually start being a little bit more careful with what I do. Because I gotta make sure that I don't do too much damage that we miss out on important dialogue.
What now?
It is possible to be too strong. Oh, Vice. NieR, don't just. I think yeah, they are dressed differently.
They copied my powers.
Shut up. They can use the sealed versions.
Of course we can. The
I
power
like how
came from
I
us in
like
the
how
first place.
Devila just Dragon Ball Z
Simply
deflected
allowing a small portion.
Kaine's friggin' giant blast.
Are you alright?
Devila,
Yeah.
why are you doing this? Why are you siding with the Shades?
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna get an answer to that. I think that's it. I think that's all the dialogue. Now, the shitty thing is with this fight is that they don't stagger them. Like, both twins basically just warp around together, so it's really easy to knock them out of their spell casting. and it makes the fight kind of trivially easy no matter what kind of a weapon. See, now they're split up. And then they start becoming more of a problem because one starts casting when the other one appears on the other side of the room and starts casting. And if the entire fight had been like that, it'd be a little different, but unfortunately they do the whole paired up teleport around for way, way too long. I wonder if that's an offshoot of maybe they had to make this fight a bit easier because there's a lot more fighting to come.
The answer to every riddle lies within the heart of the Shadowlord.
The Shadowlord? You've been on his side this whole time?
You must search for that answer yourself. You've got to face your
No,
own
Devil of
fate.
Popola, no.
Please, enter the Shadowlord's castle.
Off they go! Yay! Thanks for the map, though. Ooh, useful map.
Devila and Popola are fighting us.
Yes, they do seem to be putting us through a great deal of...
Uh-oh.
You all right there?
How odd. For long years, my mind and tongue have been my greatest assets. But now the latter seems to be far... Here.
Weiss?
Don't look at me like that.
He's
I am
Grimoire
Grimoire
Weiss.
Weiss. I am perfectly
Aw. Is Liam O'Brien that does? I think it's Liam O'Brien. Yeah, it is Liam O'Brien that does Grimoire Weiss. He does a really good job with stuttering Weiss. It sounds very, very natural. It doesn't sound like someone just like, I'm stuttering. Like, it sounds really, like, it doesn't sound forced like most people would end up, like, playing it.
I think I hear a waltz.
I hear it too. Oh. It's the Gala Ball full of ghosts. Which doesn't actually ever get explained, but that's fine. Don't worry about it.
It certainly is a grand affair.
Bunch of dancing
Oh no,
bastards.
he's getting all screwy.
They're all shades.
Ah, royal ball, how utterly...
Yeah, I guess the dancers are just shades, like,
I think we're locked
in
in.
a different kind of form. Makes a little more sense. Music's getting all screwy. Plus, like, as more and more shades file in for me to kill, like, the dancers dwindle away to nothing. Oh, this guy's got a shield. I like how lumbering these, like, sort of fat shades are. Broken wristwatch. Knockback resistance plus 30. Still not gonna use it. Not a big fan of things like that where, like, knockback resistance is just saying, like it's not, other than defense, like, you're gonna get hit every once in a while, but, like, you should always be working on getting hit less and less, or trying to avoid getting hit. So, if you wasting your slots, your very limited slots, on things that are just help out when you get hit lots, like, knockback resistance means, like, it's useful if you get hit all the time. You're getting knocked silly all over the place. But, like, you want to be getting hit as few times as possible. So I'd much rather have some kind of attack buff, or item drop rate, or experience gain, or anything like that. That's a rare drop. Oh, recovery potions. Nice. Oh, dancers are gone. Just me and the shades now.
Damn it.
Oh, it's
They
these
won't stop
ones.
coming.
I'll open the next door. Cover me.
Oh, I do love a good dance.
Rice, were you
it off,
trying to
Rice.
say dance?
Oh, right. Protect the hussy, yes. Good plan, let's go.
Protect Kaine for
I
us.
feel like it is time to abandon the fist.
Door. Come on. Oh, come on.
I got one of them.
Kaine, hurry!
It's not open yet? Do I look like a goddamn locksmith to you?
How would you know what a locksmith is? Oh,
Oh, you idiot, what are you
I'm
doing?
trying.
Lock doesn't
Oh.
want to open? Fine.
He's
I'll
talking
just
to her.
break it down.
No, there was a gold drop. I want the gold drop.
Goddamn no good bullshit bastard! Come on! Ugh. Got it.
Kaine, look out!
How did you not see that when you kicked the door open? Ow. Uh-oh.
Crap.
Oh, slapstick. Oh, no.
They're crying or laughing.
These things are freaking me out.
Ooh.
We need to help Kaine.
No, we gotta kill all the Pharaoh Rochers.
We need to help Kaine.
Alright, I'm going over there. She's fine.
You okay?
Yeah, but we got problems.
Weird little genie shade. Oh no! What could they possibly be doing? I feel like if the Shades had the power to do this, they should have done this more often. Maybe we wouldn't have gotten this. Form of Shade Boar. Yeah.
We don't need forgiveness, asshole.
Could really use you to... Oh, okay, I was expecting a ground pound. You know, if you could, like, fall over, so I could hit the big glowing weak point you have on your back, like, that would be swell. Oh. I see. I have one of those, too.
How should I know? Kaine, are you alright? Fine. Let's just kill some shit and move on, alright?
I mean, luckily, I'm powerful enough it doesn't really matter.
Got it.
She knows. Oh, now it's got armor. Or it's a different one? It's unclear. Oh. I don't know what that trophy means. Fucking magic off its armor. Stab, stab, stab. Oh. Bam. Ugh. Well, that's not fair.
Can we even hurt this thing?
Oh, icky pooey. Gross. Gross, like, stink gas coming off of it.
Stop now. Damn it.
Stay focused, Kaine. No, don't fall victim to such distractions.
Come on! We have to keep going! Move it!
Whoop. I do so much damage to this freaking thing. Yeah,
This way,
we did
move.
it. Let's go. Sweet. Those doors will hold it. This is the last weapon, I believe. Dragoon Lance? Yeah, weapons collector. 100% weapons. I remember this part sucking.
Up here!
Alright, how many times am I gonna die on this stairwell? Oh, don't do that with the camera. Oh, stop that.
Please
Oh
hurry!
no, Stinky Boar is chasing me. It's a good thing I developed this speedrun tech. Oh, good. If you just run it, it is very easy to just get stuck in a loop of not being able to beat that. Good. This is very modern industrial. Like those like halogen like overhead lights. Anyways.
Damn it, I can't get it open!
Attack incoming!
I love the fact that it's
Strike
polite
the
enough
beast
to
while
close
it's
the
down.
doors behind it when it comes in after me.
Hit
Like
the
it
thing
kind
while
of just
it's
snuck
down.
in while we were looking at the door, and then it closed the doors quietly.
The entrance is locked too.
It seems that we're in a bit of a predicament.
You can do your fart gas thing again? Yeah, you sure are. Stop it. Getting all green and stinky. Weird armored boar. Oh! Oh, it doesn't like that. How on earth did you guys get here?
傘程度どっちいるとって
King of Facade, you're so cool. Such a badass king. Come on, we've all got spears. Stab it. Yeah, people of the mask are repaying their debts.
How did you get here?
と死んだ大事なこと拾うだろう
You are correct.
いやなんで反省会
We're all working together to fight the Shadowlord. King of Facade, you're the best.
テルワット
Where's my game where I get to play as the King of Facade? Oh. I just got poisoned by a freaking random stink cloud. No, what are you guys doing? Hey, Emil's walking. You never see that. You always just see him float.
後でありくらさあこ
Oh, you're so cool, King of Facade.
No! Open the door! You can't fight them on your own!
さらゆうくく大田沖アルタイルと来るとこしいるケイタルイートエチケイロアルテスだぜ かく石岸
It's a good line.
心中カレータ改ざんテラス
あんた改てウラーヌペ
You're
ルワ
still not
ト
wearing your mask properly, can you?
Open the damn door!
NieR, it's time to go. Oh,
Come on, let's go.
Kaine.
He's fighting for you. And for Fira. Don't let him die for nothing.
I'm always the pragmatist.
My friend.
I'm not using this. I want to put this on. I also want to make sure it's good. I haven't equipped this in a while. Yep, that's it. Let's go. Okay, yeah, this is not where I was expecting rooms full of shades, but that's later. Oh. Look at this nice little restocking point. Where it's like, here, have some health items. Lots and lots of health sat, like, almost enough to, like, get you to full on health salves. It's a little suspicious, but sure. Hallway after hallway. What the hell is this room? Why are the chairs so big? Like, it's such a cool dramatic shot, but look, what was this room?
Devila! Popola!
Oh, look. You made it. We've been waiting for so long.
What the hell is going on?
It began 1300 years ago. Humanity, finding itself on the brink of extinction, undertook a last-ditch rescue plan called Project Gestalt.
Gestalt?
Do you still not remember, Grimoire Vice? Then let's give you a
Oh, what? Oh no.
Vice!
My mind.
Oh, come on, it was only 4 documents.
I remember Devila, Popola. You
Not
are not
human.
human. In fact.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah, sometimes the truth can be a real bitch. You want to finish that thought for him, sister? All of us, every person standing in this room, are mere shells created by the true humans.
You lie!
Nope, not this time. You're not human. None of us are.
So out of left field. It's great.
So then humans, I mean the true humans,
I
they're
guess
extinct?
technically Emil's the closest thing to a real human. Or at least he was before he turned into Skelemil.
No, they still live on. You know them as shades. Each shade is a twisted remnant of what was once a human being.
Crazy, huh? Now let's skip the part where you stand there with your mouths agape and just get down to business.
Wait!
Sorry,
Here.
but we're gonna be needing that shell of yours. The rightful owner has been waiting for a very
NieR's
long
response
time.
there is exactly what you as the player, like seeing this for the first time, are like. It's like, no, wait, no, stop. Can we just hold on? Just wait a minute. What?
Please don't be angry with us. We are only doing our duty. Under the command of the true humans, we live eternally for the sole purpose of controlling others. That's the only reason we exist. You have your own motives, your own desires. And we have ours. I fear it really is just that simple.
Don't speak such foolishness.
Sorry.
Oh. No, it's time to fight Devila Popola. Or actually just time to fight only Devila? Oh jeez. Oh, but it's the good music.
We're the same. You and us, tools in the hands of a master.
Nothing like you! None of us are!
thought she would have more to say, I guess not. Oh. I also really wanted to use the finish kicking in. As I interrupted to heal. Oh. It's really cheap when your sister just put up on that stage. Devlin, no! I don't hate you, Devla.
Hey, Popola. You crying? No! Don't die! You know, I understand now why we're twins. It's because we were born without souls. Devla! I can't stop the bleeding. Oh God, I can't stop it! This world is too lonely for one without a soul. There's too much emptiness. Our souls are missing, but our tears still work. That's kind of weird. Sorry, sis. I love you. Devla! Devla! Don't you go! No, no, I can't be alone! Devla!
Popola. Let's stop this now.
Stop? Stop? You want me to stop? You think I have the luxury to stop? You cut down my sister like an animal, and you tell me to stop?
Popola, wait! It doesn't have to.
No one stops! It's way too late to stop! No one stops!
Oh,
We've been friends for so long. Does that mean
so
nothing to
much
you?
magic.
Those two have watched the world wither for time immemorial. The cruelness of such a fate is difficult to imagine.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to fight Popola.
Oh,
Stop whining and start fighting.
up, Kaine,
It's the
I
only
know.
way.
I want to kill Popola. Devla Popola were just doing their job. Alright, where are you showing up?
Devil, no!
Sorry, Popola.
No stopping. No stopping ever!
Uh-oh, pre-rendered cutscene. This isn't good. Nothing good happens when there's a pre-rendered cutscene.
The bridge.
Oh god, you look so much
Last
uglier.
word.
Pre-rendered.
Trapped.
I've got an idea.
No.
I fear we're done for.
It'll be all right. You know, when I was young, I hated my eyes. And now that I'm older, I hate what my body has
that was
become.
like 2 weeks ago.
There's something else there now. Something like pride. You know? I mean, without all this, I couldn't have become your friend. Goodbye, my friends. Thank you for everything.
Emil.
For so long, all I could do was destroy. But now, I have a chance to save something.
Emil, no!
Keep going. Move.
Emil.
Don't worry. I'm gonna be fine.
You're such a good boy, Emil.
Emil!
Good boy.
Emil!
Emil! You jackass, get back here! Emil!
Oh dear. Kaine's so unstable. And Vice can't stop arguing with people. I hope they can hold it together once I'm gone.
Should have thought about that before, buddy.
Well, guess they'll just have to learn.
I think he vocalized, like, not a word, but like,
I want to see all of you again.
he said my name, or my character's name.
Just one more time.
Or I'm crazy.
I'm scared. I don't want to.
Hi, Popola. Well. Shit. Poor Emil. Devila, Popola, Emil. That's just me kinda in the book. Oh. Shadowlord's a big collector of cans, I see. Big, like, oil drum cans. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Well, I could have gone better. Kinda, you're not very good at expressing emotions.
Let's go.
Sure.
Well, hopefully this day can't get any worse. do. Oh, I can't dispel it. Maybe more shades, right? Yeah, there is. Ow. Well, that was effective. As the sad music continues to play. Yes, Sir Pedro. But, I don't know, I still think, if you had to give me the choice, I would take Automata's soundtrack over this one. If only just because of the sheer quantity in Automata. Like, there were far more songs, and this soundtrack has a lot of... It's got a lot of repeat tracks when you go through it. So you probably end up with, like, almost twice the music out of Automata's. But it's so... Like, the two are so close. I missed that one. That's fine. I probably didn't need that anyways. Oh, we've made it to, like, the business conference hall. Or whatever this would used to be.
Yona!
I appreciate the Shadowlord's need to make a really flashy entrance, because we saw in that, like, clip a minute ago, he was just standing over beside Yona, like, the whole time. And he, like, intentionally went to get under the floor just to pop up in front of NieR. It's all about showmanship. Like, his big flying wing cape thing. Like, that is not necessary either. Oh, that's right.
Strike hard.
Goddamn
Hold
book
nothing
first.
back.
See you, Grimoire Noir.
Be careful!
You too.
Oh. Oh, no. Oh, I missed my chance for big damage. Damn it. I'm so not used to using that down attack. Never got used to it. Oh, that's not fair. Oh, there's no point to use that.
Vice,
That's
you
not
all right?
working.
Naturally, I am as fit as a bed.
That was... I stabbed him right in the butt. Come on.
Wait.
Yona! Yona's here to make everything all better now. She's also 5 years older.
Dad.
What is it, Yona?
Yona.
Oh no!
What?
Even he's like,
Yeah.
Yona.
Stop. Please.
I forgot to read
I don't
the...
want this
I was gonna read
anymore.
the
I
Gestalt
don't need
Project
someone
fucking
else's
notes.
body.
I was running through the halls.
I don't want it. There's another girl inside this body. I can hear her. She keeps crying. She says she wants to see her dad.
Yona's been possessed?
Oh,
This girl
NieR,
loves
you just
her
don't get
father
it.
too, as much as I do. She loves him just as much. It's not right that she can't see him. Are you Dad?
Sure.
Yes, I am. Let's go home.
This isn't helping. This is not helping at all. You're just gonna stay there, aren't you? It's already warm enough in here without you adding to it.
I'm sorry, Dad. I don't know what to. I'm so very sorry. I love you, Dad.
Yona, no.
I love you.
This part, that I wish they had done, made it a little bit more clear what's happening.
Hurry. The shade that
like,
possessed her is
you don't
gone.
Shade Yona. Like, lets yourself be dissolved by the sunlight, but you've really kind of got to be paying attention. Like, they give you a couple of clues that sunlight will kill shades, but
Kinda. Watch over Yona for me.
I wish
You
more
want me
like
to
there was a bit
understand
more of a
your
corporeal
sadness?
form.
You think I'm gonna
Oh,
sympathize
jeez.
with you? I swore to protect my daughter and
Like
my
leaves
friends.
Yona's body. It's more
If
like
someone
human
puts them
shaped
in
and then
danger,
it dissolves
they must
away.
stand aside or be cut down. Come on, let's go.
Block those? Certainly can't like roll face first into them. Oh, okay. Like, I don't blame you for hiding up there. Oh. Oh. I was actually trying to pause it to read those documents. Damn it. Too strong. I made myself too strong.
Oh, bother.
No,
One
no,
moment,
Vice.
please.
You okay?
Fine, just fine. All right, no, I'm not.
Vice.
It seems that some headstrong idiot has decided to push me beyond my limits. I should have taken that job as a cookbook when I had the chance.
Vice. I'm sorry.
Only joking. I hate cookbooks.
But
Let's go out of the way. I have one final task to fulfill.
where are you going?
Why, to stop him, of course. But after that, it's up to you. Only you can see this battle
It's
to
nice.
its conclusion.
It's nice
I
that the
wish you
Shadowlord
luck.
is just stopping, letting us have this little heart-to-heart.
You can't. I swore to fight by your side.
You know, after we murdered his book.
You are an exceedingly stubborn man. You know that, don't you? Perhaps that's why I've so enjoyed our time together. But I fear this is where our journey ends.
Vice.
Oh, and remember what I told you about using my full name? Well, forget it. I've grown rather fond of Vice.
I mean, it's still
Vice.
technically your name.
I knew you'd come around.
Don't let it go to your head now.
As he walks off into the sunset. magic. Now? Oh, now Grimoire Vice is gone. I can't read my documents. Oh, boo.
I have something to defend. I have a reason to live.
Oh boy. I thought that was. Oh, I probably. Sure. Oh. This was going fine until I stopped blocking. Whoop. This is going badly. Oh, I got him once. Oh, the music. It's so hype. This is so good. You did it, NieR. You did it. You certainly did it all right. I can't turn my camera more than this.
Yona, are you all right?
What do you mean, no?
Oh God, no.
Oh, please,
Wait,
the
what?
girl is fine.
And now I can turn my camera.
Vice? Where are you? I can't see you.
That is because I have lost my physical form. Doubtless my voice will be the next to go, so listen closely. Your Yona is safe. Do not mourn her, and do not give up hope. Instead, you must call her back to you.
How do I do that?
Use your memories. Recall the times you spent with Yona. Present her with proof that the two of you live still, and that your lives have meaning.
I don't know.
Typical. But take heart. I know you can do it.
How do I kill it? How do I kill
What's
my
my
daughter's
favorite
memories
food?
of me to bring her back? That's what NieR knows. He knows kill.
Cookies. What's my favorite book?
Magic
That's my
storybook.
magic storybook. What's my favorite place? Home. As long as you're around. What's my favorite
Lunar
flower?
Tear.
The lunar tear, of course. Okay, one more question. Who do I love more than anyone?
Oh. That guy. That guy. I've seen reports of people getting stuck on that because they ended up with an extra space in their name by accident. They couldn't put the name in properly.
Dad?
Yona.
Yay, I got my Yona.
Is this my body?
Yes, yours, and yours alone.
You look stronger than before. You look
Except for that
good.
dumb mask.
Well, you haven't seen me for a long time.
Have I been asleep?
I think so.
Wow. It's like I'm a princess from some fairy tale.
I'm so happy, Yona. I'm so very happy.
Oh, Dad.
Kaine?
You two have a good life. Okay?
Where are you gonna go, Kaine?
No, I'll...
You could stay with us.
Thanks, but I'll pass. You know how it is. I got my own shit to take care
No,
of.
Kaine.
What do you mean?
Personal shit. That doesn't involve you. Take it easy, alright?
Kaine.
Dad,
Oh, cock blocked by your own daughter.
it's beautiful.
It's like, no, let that skank go. Look at this sunset or
For the
sunrise.
longest time, someone kept calling out to me, wanting to see the light. And now, we can finally see it.
It's the NieR village. Except it's a flashback.
Thanks, Dad.
At least I think it's supposed to be has to be a flashback because they're young still, younger.
It's so sunny today.
Yeah. It sure is.
Oh, it's the Shadowlord and his Yona. That's ending A of NieR. A nice, cheerful, happy ending. If you discount the death of most of your friends and the complete destruction and downfall of humanity. But other than that, it's a happy ending. NieR got Yona back. It's all good. And this amazing credit sequence, just in the fact that it is an alphabetical, just by name credit sequence. There's Emmy Evans, who did most of the vocals for this soundtrack, and a lot of the vocals back in Automata's soundtrack too. Like, I love the fact that it's just alphabetical order. Doesn't matter if you're a QA guy, music guy, art, the director, doesn't matter. Your name is in alphabetical order. It's great. So, we missed out on reading those documents. The documents will be there when we start back up for Route B. But, mostly just going over some of the details of Project Gestalt. But, it's like, yeah, it is a very happy end with NieR getting his daughter back, doing whatever it took to get his daughter back, except for the fact that it ends up. Maybe he wouldn't have made the same choice if he knew the full weight of his decision, but killing the Shadowlord dooms humanity. Like, from that point forward, humanity is extinct. Officially. All NieR's fault. I think so one thing they don't really go into too much is that, like, they do touch upon the fact that everything that has happened, you going to the shrine, like Yona disappearing, and you having to go to the shrine to get her back, and getting Vice, and the seal versus that, like, Devil and Popola, who are androids. That's another thing they cover in the documents. The Devil and Popola are androids, android overseers of the project. But like, it's all been set in motion. You've been basically just playing a part, except that nobody expected NieR to get as strong and to be as convicted as he is, and through brute strength destroy all of the plans. And the fact that he messed up Grimoire Vice. If he hadn't been, like, made Grimoire Vice lose all of his memories, he may have merged with Yuan. Humanity would have been saved. But nah, NieR kind of bumbled his way through and fucked up everything for the entire planet. So, oops. Oop, that's a oops. That's what happens. But he got his Yona. Well, we're starting to wind down. We're into the S's now. Yeah. Co-COO? Or is that C-O-C-O-O? I'm assuming that means like the co-chief operating officer, as in they have two of them? That guy just gets, or that lady just gets special thanks. That's it. Yeah, I was really hoping they would go back to this style again, and I'll just straight up alphabetical for NieR Automata, but they went with a more, they did end up going with a more traditional credits, which is fine. But, oh, there's Yoko Taro. Crazy Yoko Taro. So, that took a little bit less time than I thought it would take. My original intent was to possibly even just stream up to the end of Part A, and then we'll just leave it at that and pick up Part B next time. But I guess, because the beginning of Route B is very, very heavily weighted in story time. Story time with NieR will be, well, I guess we'll continue. We'll get on to that. Time to save. Load your clear data after completing the game to experience Kaine's story. So, this was one thing they did, which I liked. I mean, I kind of liked, but I'm also a little sad that it was necessary. That when you get through to this part of NieR Automata, you beat the game, get the first ending, that you get a giant splash screen from the marketing department of Square Enix being like, please keep playing the game. That is not, it's not New Game Plus. It's not just playing the same thing over again with, like, you know, some, like, a different ending. No, it's please keep playing the game. It's not over. Just because this is an ending. Please don't stop. Because so many people stopped. I guarantee so many people did. But we ain't stopping. Can't stop. No one stops. Does it say in here? Oh, it probably did if I highlighted it. Probably said that we had ending A. It does list the endings you have on your save file.
Whenever I interacted with Kaine,
and here we are,
I was
back at the
reminded
scene
about
where we
something from
unfreeze
my
Kaine.
past. Maybe my mind has been confusing her
time.
with my sister this whole time. Here we go.
Oh, I'm going to do so much reading. Is this water full? I should have brought more water. Kaine's dreams. Discrimination. The sound of rain filled the village. The steep cliffs that surrounded the area magnified sound, causing even the slightest drizzle to rattle like a thunderstorm. Thin wisps of smoke streamed from huts as the villagers huddled in their homes and waited out the rain. A single child, however, had braved the downpour and was now wandering slowly towards the wooden hawk-shaped weather vane at the center of town. The wanderer reached the vane, which had existed for as long as any could remember, and stared. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that had survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with pale white skin to give the face an almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. If it stays west, then I... The child blinked. Rain dripped down the young one's short hair and began its long descent to the ground. Come on, come on! The child felt a slight breeze and watched the vein slowly creak to life, spinning this way for a moment, and then settled with the beak pointed firmly towards the east. East? Really? Before the vein could move again, a jagged rock came spinning and tumbling through the air, finally striking home against her head. The force of the blow dropped the child to the ground as a hail of stones began to fall all around. Uh-oh. A heartbreaking smile crept across the child's face as the stones continued their assault. Through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder before a voice rang out. Yoo-hoo, Kaine. The voice belonged to Demo, the worst of all the bullies in the area. As Kaine struggled to stand, a final stone came skittering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blood oozed from a cut above her eye and blurred her vision, but she could make out the shapes of Demo and his usual gang of idiots. The boy seemed taken aback for a moment by Kaine's seemingly indifference to the blood dripping from her face, but quickly regained his bravado. What's up, freak? You like the rain? You like getting all wet, or did you finally decide to run away from home? Though she knew it was futile, Kaine had turned to leave. Before she could get more than a few steps, the other children scrambled to surround her, cruelty burning in their eyes. Kaine knew those were not the only eyes on her. The tormentor's parents watched from the safety of their homes. She was attuned to this sensation. It was one she had experienced many times before. While some villagers simply turned a blind eye to the actions of their children, many encouraged it openly. In a society ruled by superstition and fear, Kaine was something to be hated, and if possible, destroyed. I didn't say you could leave, freak. Demo's words chewed at her like a worm through an apple. He can't hurt me. She lied to herself. Be strong, be brave. He can't hurt me, he can't hurt me, he can't. Oh look, the little freak is gonna cry. What's wrong? Are you sad everyone hates you and wants you dead? Fucking harsh, man. Kaine prayed for the rain to flood down, carry her away from a world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Demo crept ever closer, the clouds began to thin and the rain slowed. Even the weather hates me. I'm useless, a failure. I wish Demo's rock had just taken my head clean off. Kaine couldn't meet Demo's leering gaze. She lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground below. The bully moved forward until he was inches away. She could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. The boy grabbed Kaine's face with thick fingers and yanked it upward. She tried to turn away, but he forced her gaze back and jammed his thumb against her eyelid to pry it open. You're a freak. No, I'm not. Did you just say no? Demo grinned evilly. You don't say no to me. No one says no to me. Well, it's getting bad. Not even taking his attention from Kaine, he called to his cohorts. Come on, guys. Let's give this freak what she deserves. As soon as Demo finished, kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kaine. Demo paused, still grinning as Kaine curled into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. I don't get you, freak. What you acting like a girl for, huh? Everyone knows what you really are. Kaine ignored the question, choosing instead to stare at the weather vane. Continued to point east, as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. Go home? Yeah, that's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and no home to go to. Freak, chanted the children. Freak, freak, freak. Kaine closed her eyes and listened to the rain, waiting for the pain to start again. As the clutching hands of the village children closed around her, she bent her mind to the sound of the rain, letting it become her whole world. The rain fell, but pain never came. Only when the laughter of her tormentors turned to terrified cries did she open a single blood-caked eye. Kaine was shocked to see Demo sprawled on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from the spaces between his fat, twisted fingers. Oh my god, he's crying. He's actually crying. Deprived of their leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves as if waiting for someone to step forward and take charge. When no savior emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from Kaine. But the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, their attention was wrapped on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick with rage. Hurts like a bitch, don't it? Now I suggest you scatter before I throw another one. If any of you little bastards ever touch my Kaine again, I'll do far worse than throw a rock. You can count on it. The old woman crouched down and gently touched the hand Demo was using to cover the wound. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into the wound and twisted back and forth. Ow! He screamed, leaping to his feet. Stop it! What are you doing? Quit whining. Ain't nobody ever died from a scratch. You hit me with a rock, you stupid bitch. A big one. That thing could have killed me. The old woman shrugged. Death is the best cure for stupid. Yeah. Kaine's grandma's the best. Demo's face twisted with rage at her words, locking his eyes on Kaine. He took a step backward and spat on the ground. Get out, leave this village. No one wants you here, either of you. Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Demo and his companions turned tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her side and barked out a single laugh. Ha! Look at the fat boy go. Guess he's healthy enough to run from a fight. The woman's smile faded as she turned her attention to Kaine. Kneeling down, she removed her shawl and placed it around the young girl's shoulders, then produced a cloth from the folds of her dress and began blotting at the blood on her forehead. Oh, Kaine, why didn't you fight back? You're stronger than that lot. The words of her grandmother stung Kaine, and she turned away. Don't be nice to me, she said. I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore. Her tears, held in check for so long, finally began to fall on the muddy ground below. Everyone hates me. They think I cause bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead. As Kaine's tears turned to sobs, she felt her grandmother's hands on her shoulders. Despite her advanced age and diminutive size, she was a woman of surprising strength, and Kaine found herself unable to turn away. Don't talk like that, Kaine. It's a river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next. It grants no mercy to any that attempt to cross it. You get a duty to fight until your last breath. Understand? The old woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice. You know the pain of losing someone close to you, Kaine. You know because you survived it. As the words hit home, Kaine was struck by the force of her love for the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know of her grandmother, but when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as Kaine called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence, and their first few years together had not been easy. But with each year that passed, Kaine and her grandmother had grown closer. However, it was only now sitting in the mud with tears and blood caking her face that Kaine truly understood the depths of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all these things and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Kaine's pain and loneliness, it was her. Do I make you sick, Grandma? Of course not. Don't be an ass. Kaine drew her grandmother's moth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered. But my body, it's not normal. If I was normal, then Mom and Dad wouldn't... Hush, I'll not hear another word of this nonsense. You're my granddaughter, and I love you. And if folks have a problem with that, they can just go to hell. With that, the old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flowers in Kaine's hair. The skill it took to bend the flowers without breaking the stems or losing a single petal was remarkable, and the beauty of it made Kaine want to cry all over again. Oh my gosh, these are lunar tears. Grandma, you made this for me? Lunar tears were legendary flowers. Most people could live their entire lives without ever seeing one, and yet her grandmother had somehow collected a dozen or more. Maybe she played like the farming minigame, like I was going to for hours and hours. Kaine reached up and touched the wreath as if she couldn't believe it was real. Where did you find these? Oh yeah, I just stumbled upon them one day when I was out doing the shopping. The old woman turned away as she was explaining, leading Kaine to suspect that the search had been much more difficult than she was letting on. The pains she took to construct the ornament, let alone track the flowers down using its construction, made Kaine's heart hurt. She reached up, gently adjusted the wreath, admiring the way it fell between her fingers. Didn't quite turn out right, said her grandmother as she squinted at it. These old hands have trouble with delicate work, but it sure looks good on a pretty girl like you. Kaine blushed and turned away. You think I'm pretty? Of course you are. What a fool thing to say. Thank you, Grandma. Her grandmother smiled. We're gonna be fine, you and me. As long as we got each other, we'll be just fine. Kaine took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to their feet. As they began the long walk home, Kaine gripped the hand with all her might as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away on the wind. The rain had stopped. Kaine stood beneath the weather vanes, watching it spin in lazy circles, no longer caring about what direction it faced when it stopped. I don't need to escape. I have a home now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough, even if it's just us against the world. Kaine let her gaze drift up past the vane and into the cloudy sky. The last hints of a rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned back and headed for home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly taken away by the breeze. Well, that's one thing done. Yeah, they don't... That's one thing they don't do in this is... Like, Kaine talks... Throughout her entire thing, that she talks about her body and, like, how she's a freak and everybody hates her. And you just assume it's because she's got, like, some kind of thing going on with the shade. But, like, it's very clear from that no, there was something wrong, not wrong, but there was something different about her, enough to push people to hatred and prejudice, like, even from when she was a little girl. But, continuing on, in the distance, Kaine heard the steady sounds of an axe striking wood. The noise had a purposeful quality to it, as if she was hearing a master woodsman go about his work. The firewood being produced, however, was far from a work of art as could be. Pieces of every shape and size were being flung in a barren yard with wild abandon. Anyone trying to stack such wood would probably die of frustration before the job was through. Stupid piece of shit axe! Kaine's grandmother flailed away with the axe, filling the air with both splinters of wood and words that would make the most hardened sailor blush. "Grandma," called Kaine. "What?" yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off the wood for a moment. "Oh, it's you, Kaine. Don't get too close or I might take your goddamn foot off by mistake." She brought the axe down on a piece of wood, sending chips flying in every direction. One spun past Kaine, close enough for her to hear the whistle, at which point she decided to step back. When she'd scuttled to a safe distance, she cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted, "Grandma! You need help? I can get you water, or lunch, or a new axe or something." The axe, poised to strike another wobbly blow, paused in midair. The old woman considered her granddaughter's offer for a moment, then smiled. Tell you what, since I'm doing such a piss-poor job of chopping, why don't you come here and take over so I can go get the water? Shade's been restless lately, you know. I don't want you running into one of them bastards. Relinquishing her axe, the grandmother, I mixed those two words up, picked up a long pole with wooden buckets on either end. Gathering water was by far the more difficult of the two jobs, but Kaine knew better than to complain. Once Grandma's mind was set, there was no changing it. Kaine did her best to help with the chores, but Grandma took every task that required travel to the village. Though she had a long list of plausible excuses, Kaine knew the real reason. She didn't want her granddaughter to be taunted and harassed by the villagers. Once Kaine moved in, Grandma decided to take up residence a good distance from the area. Out of sight, out of mind seemed to be the best policy when it came to the villagers and the granddaughter. And rare were the days where any of the two of them could be found on the rocky acre of land they called home. Yeah, so Kaine's house in-game is supposed to be a lot. I think that's something you're just supposed to imagine, is that like all the distances between all the villages and everything is a lot bigger than it is in-game. So Kaine's house is not 50 feet from the area. It's a good long distance away. It's just truncated so that the game's not horrible and super long. Kaine enjoyed the solitude, but harbored a secret resentment for her grandmother, who forced her to spend her golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother leave, Kaine turned her attention to the task at hand, and she had never chopped wood before in her life, and soon discovered why the old woe man hated the chore. Swing after swing of the axe produced only a tiny crack in the wood. When she finally managed to connect with a solid stroke, the tool embedded itself in the log and refused to budge. Frustrated, Kaine swung the axe around her head and threw it, log and all, across the yard. Damn it! Crap! She suddenly understood the joy her grandmother felt in a good curse. Happier now, she picked up the axe, forced it from the wood, and resumed chopping. She had a natural skill with a blade, but the task was challenging, and blisters soon began to form on her small pink hands. This is tough. My logs are all weird sizes. Spitting on her palms, ignoring the pain, Kaine redoubled her efforts. Just as she was developing a rhythm, Grandma returned from the village. Setting down her buckets with a small sigh, she took one look at the logs and coughed out a wheezy laugh. "Pretty clumsy, girl. You better practice if you..." Her grandmother suddenly collapsed to her knees, causing one of the buckets to wobble precariously. Eyes wide, Kaine dropped the axe and ran to her grandmother's side. "Grandma!" The old woman shook her head and pointed a trembling finger at the bucket. Get the bucket. Don't let it spill." Kaine steadied the bucket with a foot as she knelt by her grandmother. A small bit of water sloshed over the side and made a new home in the hem of her dress, but Kaine didn't notice. Grandma, what's happening?" Crazed with panic, she grabbed her grandmother by the shoulders and shook. After a moment, the woman lifted her arms and batted Kaine away. "Just stop that! Stop it now!" she cried, breathing heavily. "Ain't like I'm dying. Just tired from the trip is all." Kaine desperately wanted to believe her, but one look at the old woman's shaking hands and worn face told her more than words ever could. Her grandmother lived a long, hard life, and it seemed the bill was coming due. The time when her grandmother watched over Kaine was ending. Sooner than either of them had feared, the positions would be reversed. The next morning, Kaine came to the side of her grandmother's bed and took her wrinkled hand. "Grandma, you're sick and you need medicine. I'm going to the village." The old woman shook her head and tried to rise, but Kaine gently pushed it out. "It's all right. I'll be fine." Her grandmother fixed her with a gaze that could melt steel. After what seemed like eternity, she finally lowered her eyes and sighed. "Well, I don't like it, goddammit, but I guess I should quit being so stubborn and let you grow up." The old woman watched as Kaine strapped on her boots and made her way down the road to the village. Hours later, instead of like 50 feet away, as an unseen sun made its way across the dark and rainy sky, she was still watching. Kaine moved at a brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes to make sure the money her grandmother gave her was still there. Every noise caused her to spin on her heels, making sure she wasn't being stalked by a shade or worse, Demo and his gang. But she encountered neither tormentors nor shades, and Kaine finally found herself at the entrance to the village. The few adults she could see glanced sideways at her and then muttered something behind raised hands before slinking away into the shadows. Her heart racing, Kaine took a series of rapid, shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. I have to prove myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong. She chanted those words to herself over and over as she slowly made her way. Finally, her eyes settled on a rotund, older woman who was angrily waving her arms in the air and telling anyone who would listen exactly what she thought of Kaine's presence. "Hey, lady," said Kaine with a bravado she did not feel. "Where's the apothecary?" The woman's flabby cheeks shook in bewildered anger. "How dare this thing speak to me?" they seemed to say, but Kaine saw that her eyes held a different emotion. Fear. "Yeah, we're both scared, lady. Trust me on this one." "Which way?" The woman pointed to a small building to her right before hitching up her dress and stumbling off in the other direction. Kaine cringed, expecting a stone to come flying from the assembled crowd, but none came. Her mind was filled with a strange sense of pride as she made her way to the apothecary, but the new emotion had little time to take root, for as soon as she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer at the counter. It was Demo. Clearly been sent here on some kind of family errand, because his gang of followers was nowhere to be found. "Oh my god," he sputtered. What are you doing here, freak?" The insult was delivered without force, and Kaine happily ignored it. Stretching on tiptoes to see her over the counter, she asked the shopkeeper for the medication. "Ha!" barked Demo. "That old bitch finally keel over? Go to hell, Demo." The boy's eyes grew so wide they seemed ready to fall out of his head, but before he could let fly a comeback, or worse, a punch, the apothecary told him to knock it off or he kicked them both out of the store. Demo slunk out of the shop, cursing Kaine under his breath. Once he was gone, she allowed herself to breathe once more, taking a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared her medication. Countless tiny bottles filled the cramped store, each with a label written in some kind of indecipherable language. An ocean of aromas assaulted her nose, creating a scent that was exotic but not altogether unpleasant. Seeing such a variety of supplies gave Kaine a sense of peace. Surely in a world so vast, there'd be some place she could call home. On the far wall beyond the counter rested a portrait of a stunning young girl. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colors, but time had worked its magic and they were beginning to fade. The beauty of the work, however, remained undiminished. "You like that picture?" Kaine turned to find the apothecary with a small vial of medicine in his hand. His eyes were gentle but sad, and they seemed to stare through her and into nothing as he spoke. "That's my daughter. I sketched it when she was just a little girl. She's been dead a long time now." Kaine didn't know how to respond. She just stared at the portrait and tried to come up with the right words. "Pictures are wonderful things," continued the shopkeeper. "They let the ones closest to you live on forever." He shook his head slightly and then looked down at Kaine and smiled, handed her the medicine. He reached into his sizable green apron and produced a handful of old wax crayons. "You should have these. There's no one left that I wish to draw." Kaine took the instinctive step back, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. "Yes, I've heard the rumors about you. It's a small village and word travels quickly. Between you and me, I'm not sure which of them to believe, but I also don't think they matter much. I knew your grandmother, Callie, and I think the way she was driven out of this town is just deplorable." "Grandma's name is Callie?" thought Kaine suddenly. She was still mulling this new fact over in her mind when she reached out and gently took the crayons from the apothecary's hands. "Your grandmother's an old friend of mine," he said, as Kaine scooted away yet again. "I owe her much. I'm willing to wager she would like it if you drew a picture of her." "Yes, I think she would like that very much." Kaine murmured a quiet agreement, but inside her heart was bursting. Never before had a villager treated her with anything but complete contempt. It was a tiny, almost imperceptible step, but it was a step nonetheless. And with enough tiny steps, she might one day discover the rest of the world. When When Kaine returned home, she found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Her feet were blackened and raw, even bleeding in a bit in places, leading Kaine to think that she'd been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally caught up with her. She placed the medicine by her grandmother's pillow and turned to leave, but found the old woman's hand clasped around her arm. "Back already, are you?" asked her grandmother with a yawn. "Come here, let me have a look at you." Grandmother sat up, examined Kaine from head to toe. Finally satisfied nothing terrible had befallen for her grandchild, she leaned back and allowed herself to relax. "Well, how was it? Those bastards give you any trouble?" "It was kind of fun," said Kaine with a small smile. "No, seriously, it was." "It was fun, was it?" asked her grandmother in a voice which implied she believed anything but. So anytime you need me to run an errand, just let me know." As she spoke, Kaine removed the crayons from her pocket. After a brief explanation of their source, she informed her grandmother she was going to sketch her portrait. "A portrait of me? Ridiculous. No one wants to stare at a wrinkled old crone." "But Grandma, it'll make you live forever." "Horse manure," said her grandmother, throwing back the sheet of her bed. "Living forever would just piss me off. Now put those crayons away and help with dinner." Kaine would not relent, and in the end Grandma found herself leaning against the wall of her house, as if posing for a master artist. Kaine took up the crayons, eyed her subject carefully, and just as her grandmother was about to nod off, Kaine finished the work. After staring at it for a bit, she realized she released it from her grip and let it slowly drift to the floor. "It's terrible. It doesn't look like you at all." "I'm sorry, Grandma. I thought these crayons would, like make drawing easy or something." The old woman's eyes narrowed at her granddaughter's disappointment. "Let me be the judge of that," she said, ignoring the pain in her back and reaching for the paper. The sketch could have been a person's face, could have also been a boulder, a lump of clay, or an incredibly misshapen loaf of bread, all rendered in a chaotic array of colors. The old woman stared at the picture for a long time and then slowly wheezed out a laugh. "Oh, Kaine," she said between laughter, "you truly are my blood. You're as clumsy as me and I love it. But hush, I won't hear any more bull about how ugly you think it is. It came from the heart and I'll treasure it always." True to her word, the old woman gave the picture a place of honor above the kitchen table. In the days that followed, Kaine would often catch her staring at the portrait with a strange smile on her face, an action she interpreted as silent, mocking laughter. A week later, Kaine could stand it no more and asked her grandmother to take it down. "Posh, I'll take this down when they roll me in my shroud." She pondered this for a bit, and then turned to Kaine and dropped to one knee. "Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture makes me happy in a way I've never felt before. It makes me want to go on, so that someday you can feel the same happiness." It was a moment that burned itself in Kaine's memory, a perfect blend of pride and love and joy that came together to form a lifelong remembrance. She swore to never forget this moment, to never forget the old woman who had made her place in the world possible. Time moves on, people and memories come in and out like ghosts passing through a hall, but this moment will be different, because I will remember it forever. Forever. I didn't think we'd get the third one. I thought it was 2, and then the fight. Oh no. Little break. Yeah, so that picture of Kali, Kaine's grandmother, is also it's hung up in Kaine's house, and you can see it. It's just big poster of a terrible, terrible child drawing done in crayon. It's great. Kaine listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at the black object on her plate. She'd been pushing it around the wooden disc for a good 10 minutes, ignoring the bemused stare of her grandmother. Finally, she summoned her courage and gave the object a brief sniff. A sharp, bitter scent flew up her nostrils and made its home there, causing her face to twist with disgust. "Grandma, I can't believe you want me to eat a bug." The old woman threw some more wood under the cooking pot and snorted. "It's no bug, you fool girl. It's a berry. Why in the hell would I be feeding you bugs?" "Yeah, well, it looks like a bug. I think it's burnt. It smells terrible." With that, Kaine held her nose and threw the berry in her mouth, chewing as little as possible. "Oh yeah, that's terrible, all right." "Why, you little brat," laughed the old woman. "Look at the sass on you. You've been spending too much time with me, and that's a fact." 5 years had passed since the moment when Kaine's grandmother saved her from the bullies. As is often the way with two stubborn people, the relationship had grown in fits and starts, but moved forward all the same. Meals that used to be somber affairs are now filled with laughter and hurled abuse in equal measure. Kaine could not remember a time when she'd been happier. As the years went by, Kaine started to shoulder more and more of the daily responsibilities. Her grandmother's legs grew weaker by the day, and she could no longer do many of the chores she used to take for granted. And so this morning found Kaine lacing up her work boots with a breakfast of burnt berry rolling through her belly. "Where are you going today?" asked Grandma suddenly. Kaine looked up surprised. The old woman rarely asked for specifics anymore. Well, I was going to check out the kelma trees and see if they were ripe. I thought I could make some jam or something. Oh, and I'm going to pick up some flagstones, so I need to take the wheelbarrow. Flagstones? What in the hell for? Kaine stared at her grandmother and held out an arm and swept it around their home, constructed mostly of cloth, rope, and rubble. The old place sagged like a boxer in the final round. Grandma, a dying cat could chew through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection. The old woman laughed, exposing her toothless grin to the world. God damn it, girl. If a bunch of thieves want to ransack this old place, let them come. We ain't got nothing we're stealing anyways. I'm not worried about thieves. I'm worried about shades. People saw one west of the village yesterday. The old woman tilted her head and stared at her granddaughter. Well, shoot. I don't know why you have to do it today. We can worry about it some other... Grandma, no. If I don't go to the kelma trees, we won't eat tonight. You know that. A confused expression passed across the old woman's face, and for a moment she was a small child lost at a carnival. Yes, she said after, but yes, of course you're right. I'm sorry, Kaine. Lately it seems my mind is... She didn't finish the thought, instead walking over to her nightstand and gently taking the wreath of lunar tears from the drawer. The flower's petals had aged to a brilliant whiteness, and Kaine thought it was more beautiful now than the day she first received it. You're going to be a true woman soon, Grandma said as she placed the flowers in the girl's hair. So that means less chatter about shades and build defensive walls, and more talk about how beautiful you become. Annoyed, Kaine reached up to remove the garland, but the look on her grandmother's face stopped her hand. You're a beautiful thing, said the old woman, and there ain't nothing like you in all the world. I'm very proud of you. Okay, Grandma, that's enough goddamn compliments for one day. Such a mouth on you. Where did that come from? Gee, I wonder. Teach you to sass me, girl, yelled Grandma. Suddenly she lurched forward and grabbed Kaine by the ears, pulling her around the room with a crazed grin on her face. Grandma, yelled Kaine in a quaking voice. Grandma, stop it. What the hell? The old woman stared at her and blinked, and then slowly held her wrinkled hands out as if it was the first time she'd ever seen them. Oh, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry, girl. Sometimes my mind just... Kaine thought the look on her grandmother's face was the most heartbreaking thing she'd ever seen. Listen, she began, maybe I should stay home after all. No, I won't have you stay here and keep an eye on an old codger like me. You go get your fruit and your wall and whatnot, I'll be fine. When you come back, I'll have a nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you. Kaine rolled her eyes, kissed her grandmother on the mouth. It's not one of those kind of stories. On the forehead, and made ready to depart, trying desperately to ignore the worry that was gnawing at the walls of her heart. It's a lot of reading. This is gonna just... God damn it, Kaine, why you gotta dream about so much being trapped in a solid stone wall for 5 years? Kaine could feel the old woman's eyes watching her as she moved down the path. Don't turn around, she told herself, but in the end the temptation was too great. Spun on her heel for one final look and saw a small bent woman standing in front of a ramshackle hut with a sad expression on her face. God, she looks so old now. It's like the wind could reach down and just carry her away. Kaine worried about her grandmother all day, causing her work to suffer, and what little fruit she could collect was tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow. She found only a couple of stones before losing interest altogether. Finally, as dusk approaches, she decided to call it a day. Cursing herself for the lack of focus, Kaine pushed the nearly empty wheelbarrow back down the path. As she crested the final hill, she suddenly froze in place. The wheelbarrow fell from her fingers and collapsed on its side, sending a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit rolling back down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed by a thick black cloud that hovered just ahead. Tracing its path with a finger, Kaine felt her stomach knot in on itself. No. Oh gods, no. Her grandmother's house was ablaze, the flames licking up as if trying to touch the sky itself. Grandma? Grandma? Kaine ran, faster than she ever moved in her life. Once she tripped on a stone and went sprawling into the rocky ground, but she leapt to her feet and continued running, unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wounded hands and knees. As she got closer and closer, Kaine's mind began to race in time with her footfalls. It's too dark. It's too dark. It's not just fire. It can't be fire. Too much smoke. Gotta save her. Gotta save her. She burst into the front yard and came to a sudden halt. Her worst suspicions confirmed. The smoke from the fire was mingling with the thick, inky blackness of an enormous shade. The massive creature supported itself on 3 twisted feet and achieved balance through means of a large, armored tail. Scales, horns, and claws sprouted from its body in a random, chaotic pattern, giving it the appearance of a giant lizard designed by some insane god. Seeing Kaine, it let out a roar and flicked its tail, sending the small whirlwind spinning around the yard. For a moment, the creature retreated into a shimmering, inky blackness as if her mind was unable to comprehend that such a thing could actually exist. But then the smell hit her, a blend of rotted meat and excrement, and the horror became real once more. The creature bellowed again. This time Kaine responded with a scream all of her own. All right, you bastard, she thought as her scream echoed off the high cliffs. It's you or me. Let's go. Shade eyed Kaine with bemused interest, and then began looking for her, or from her to the house and back again, as if urging her to look at the destruction it had so gleefully wrought. With dread building in her heart, Kaine glanced towards the house. Through the smoke of the flame, she spotted a small figure struggling to escape the ruins. Grandma! At the sound of her voice, the old woman began waving frantically. She's alive, thought Kaine. She's alive. Kaine's legs sprang to life as she raced across the yard towards the flaming wreckage of the house. Where she had advanced more than just a few steps, the shade opened its mouth and let out a roar, powerful enough to uproot trees and send them flying. The blast sent Kaine tumbling through the air before smashing her against the rocky earth. Stars danced in front of her eyes as she tried to remember how her legs worked. Get up. 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 Now! As Kaine struggled to her feet, the shade stomped towards the house and pinned her grandmother to the ground with the tip of a claw. The old woman struggled to move the claw from her stomach, but she might have been pushing a mountain. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood into the air and then collapsed to the ground, her energy spent. Kaine lurched to her feet, only to fall back to earth with a gasp. Her ankles were on fire. One or both of them were surely broken. Ignoring the pain that screamed through her body, she began dragging herself across the ground, leaving a drunken trail of dust and blood in her wake. Grandma, hold on, just a little longer. Her grandmother's face was turning blue, her eyes rolling back until only the whites were exposed. Kaine pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness. The distance seemed to increase with every second that passed. The shade glanced between the two women and flicked out its tongue. A giant mouth turning up at the corner, short panting breaths belched from somewhere deep within its core. Bastard, laughing at us. She had no idea how such a mindless creature could experience emotion, but there could be no doubt that the Shade was taking joy in their suffering. Yeah, I see your plan. The Shade moved its claws slightly, allowing Grandma to breathe again. It was clearly keeping her alive, only to snuff out her life when Kaine was close enough to touch her. I'm gonna kill this bastard. Summoning all of her strength, Kaine rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap from her right ankle as the foot twisted backward, but she forced it from her mind and began to hobble towards the monster. Pulling a small knife from the pouch at her waist, she leapt on the foot that pinned her grandmother and plunged the weapon deep. Give her back, she screamed. Give her back to me. It was like stabbing a rock. After a few swipes, the knife broke at the hilt with a dull snap. The Shade panted laughter again, then raised its tail and sent it rushing through the air towards the young girl latched to its foot. Kaine never had a chance. The tail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing into the burning wreckage of the home. As she lay on the ground with blood pouring from multiple wounds, a small, weak voice spoke up. Kaine? Kaine's vision blurred, but she forced herself to focus on the sound. Finally, her eyes cleared enough to make out her grandmother's hands reaching out to her through the smoke. Grandma? Kaine, you've got to run. You can't defeat him. Kaine grabbed the hands and held on with all her strength. Grandma, come on, we have to go. The old woman coughed loudly. One of her hands, slick with blood, slipped from Kaine's grasp and thumped to the ground below. Grandma, no. No! I said run, goddammit. You have to live. You have to get through. The thought would stay forever unfinished. Before she could say another word, the Shade's clawed foot descended, smashing through the remains of the roof and down upon the shattered figure of the old woman. Blood oozed thickly from the gaps in the creature's toes as the terrible putrid smell assaulted Kaine's nose once again. She stared at the foot, dumbfounded, convinced that what she was seeing could not possibly be real. When the creature finally lifted its appendage, all that remained underneath was a twisted, unrecognizable mass of rubble and red. Her grandmother was gone. Kaine blinked, trying to feel the hands which had been in hers just a moment before. For a fleeting instant, she could remember the warmth of that embrace, the trembling of the fingers, and the sensation drifted away on the breeze, and was gone. Memories flashed through Kaine's mind, one after the other, faster and faster, until they became a meaningless jangle of noise. Kaine screamed then, a thunderous sound that echoed off the cliffs, and seemed to roll away forever. So much reading. Dehydrating myself. Shade eased forward, black ichor pouring from its mouth, dissolved into smoke on the ground below. The earth shook with every step as it crept towards its prey. Kaine's body slowly rose, controlled by a mad puppet master. Her arms and legs were bent at impossible angles, her head lolled dangerously to the side, yet somehow she managed to stand. Staring at the Shade, her eyes began to glow with a deep red fire. The creature, so confident just moments before, took a slow, hesitant step backwards, trying to discern if this broken human could possibly pose a threat. Could possible pose a threat? Oh, it's a spelling mistake. Kaine seized the moment, laughing like a mad woman. She leapt into the air and plunged the shattered hilt of her knife deep into the leg of the Shade. The Shade shook Kaine off like a fly, sending her crashing to the earth once again. Her chest rose and fell slowly as if a great weight were resting on it. Moist sounds of pain echoed through her mind. Something warm and thick oozed from her ears. Is that blood? I think it is. I think I'm bleeding to death. No, can't die. Grandma told me to live. Deep inside Kaine's mind, something finally broke. The sound, the pain, the smoke, the flames, all of it faded away, till all that remained was a single incantation repeated over and over again. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it, kill it, kill it. Kill it. Kill it now! As the spark that was Kaine slowly began to flicker and die, she felt her desire to kill and her desire to live blend into one. The distance between heartbeats grew longer and longer and longer. Oh, finally a break. I can't complain too much. The story's really good. Boy, I needed a break. It's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's Jack.
Oh, I got it.
Jack's still in there. Hey, buddy. What's that? Oh yeah, we were playing a video game. Totally forgot. Oh, I missed. Oh, that actually did like 0 damage.
How did it even survive these past 5 years?
I'm not gonna let this happen again. He dies today. My sword feels lighter.
It's not the blade, but the skill of the brutes to strike them down.
Oh, I forgot to check. I was gonna check the papers. The project is stalled. I forgot again. God damn it. That's alright. I still have water in this water bottle. No. I have to go take a little 2-second break. Fill those up. Oh, we broke it. We broke it. But that's fine. Hey, Mail. Missed you, buddy. The best. Oh no, Kaine looks like she's thinking again. Oh no, she's thinking again! One last Kaine story. Before we go through this Kaine story, I'm going to take a very short break. I'm going to go get something to drink. We'll be back in just a minute. Where were we? Oh, that's right. Gently. Weakly. Softly. Gently, weakly, softly. That doesn't work. It's a terrible Daft Punk song. The Shade, sure that its tormentor was dead, turned and stomped off towards the horizon, stopping along the way to bellow one final roar. Couldn't kill it. Sorry, Grandma. Couldn't avenge you. Shamed beyond imagining, Kaine tried to turn her head to the side, but succeeded only in coughing up a huge gout of blood. It was getting difficult to see, and only after a moment of fierce concentration did she realize that her left eye was gone. Laughing to herself, she turned her remaining eye to the ruins of her home and noticed a ragged stump of arm resting a few feet away. Yeah, that's mine, she thought with a mad giggle. This is going to make clapping a real bitch. Ha! Cried a sudden voice from the depths of her mind. Finally gonna die, are ya? Well, you had it coming. Go to hell, Demo, she thought as the unseen assailant. Go to hell before I pluck out your eyes and feed them to a dog. The voice of her childhood terror evaporated into smoke, only to be replaced by another, more recent voice. Hold still, said the apothecary, materializing from the ruins like a ghost. I want to draw you. That way you can live forever. No, stop. Don't want to live forever. Want to die right here. I see, he said quietly. Well, that's how you want it. The spectral shopkeeper fluttered in and out of existence for a moment and produced a piece of paper and sketched quickly. After a few seconds, he turned the page to Kaine and smiled. Since you rejected my offer, I decided to draw someone else. It was a picture of her grandmother, real as life. Kaine opened her mouth to thank the man, but stopped as the picture began to blacken in the middle. And before she could say anything, thousands of multi-legged insects began to swarm across the image, tearing at it with sharpened pincers. Stop. No, don't hurt that picture. Kaine reached out with her remaining arm and waved futilely at the air. To her surprise, the insects fell off the picture and to the ground below, where they vanished into tiny black tendrils of smoke. Relieved, Kaine turned her good eye back to the picture, only to open her mouth in a silent scream. The sketch now showed her grandmother she truly was, a smashed, unrecognizable lump of nothing. The apothecary smiled, and then broke into a jolly dance. See that? He cried, as he danced his jig. It's perfect now. She looks just like you. Ha-cha-cha-cha. I look like that? Oh God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Drowning in despair, Kaine laid her head back in the mud and smoke of her ruined house and waited for the end to come. But before she let everything go, an unfamiliar voice began whispering in her ear. Ain't you got a wish, sunshine? The voice was vulgar and fierce at the same time, as if insanity had somehow found a way to take form. Kaine wanted to scream as the voice crawled under her skin, but her lungs refused to work. You know, a wish, like a prayer or something. Why don't you get on your knees and start praying to heaven? Please, invisible man in the sky, save me, save me. Ha ha ha. Kaine finally resorted to shouting at the voice within her mind. I don't make wishes, they don't come true for me. I'm a curse, a freak. I should be left to die. The other voice boomed in her ears. Oh, you are the best. Kaine glanced down and saw a black, shiny substance oozing from her legs. She tried to brush it away, but her remaining arm would no longer respond. The substance slowly crept around her feet and began moving up towards the rest of her body. Is this death? Is this what it's like? Or is my mind just losing itself? She could feel the slime oozing upwards, feel the hot, searing pain left in its wake. Whatever else might be happening, she was still alive, and this was real. Come on, said the voice. Let it go. Kaine tried to ignore the voice and concentrate on the pain, but the newcomer would have none of it. Don't ignore me, sunshine. You ready to give up? Ready to die? So why not let me have it? Have what? Your body. Come on, just give it to me. Give it to me. I want to stand on the ground, feel the rain, taste the wind. The voice paused as if licking its lips. When it resumed, it was filled with mad, unabated joy. And I want to take your hands and use them to choke the goddamn life out of people. I want to tear out their throats and bathe in the blood, just like before. In response, Kaine shifted her head and vomited. The warmth of it crept down her front and mingled with the pain and the encroaching black ooze. Are you a shade? Yeah, maybe. What of it? The slime reached her face and crept up past her nose and slowly oozed into the socket of her missing eye. The moment it touched her brain, Kaine was struck by the most powerful sensation she'd ever felt in her life. It was ecstasy. She wanted to scream with delight, but all she could manage was a small whispered moan. Feels good, doesn't it? Said the voice with a chuckle. Yeah, what can I say? I know how to please the ladies. Now give me that body. Come on, give me the body, and I'll give you more of this feeling. Fair trade. Black lump began to protrude from Kaine's side as she watched it grew longer and thicker, eventually taking the form of her missing arm. I can see better, she thought. My eye must be growing back too. The slime reached up to envelop the rest of her face, but she managed to brush it away. Stop, she whispered, marveling at how she had regained her voice. Stop. The black ooze hesitated, as if considering this request, then quickly shimmered down the rest of her body before disappearing in a cloud of smoke. Ah, what the hell, Sunshine? Screamed the voice. We had a deal. I thought you wanted to die. Grandma said, I can't die yet. A brief image of her grandmother, bloodied and broken, flashed before her eyes. Then she saw the shade that had killed her and heard its mocking laughter, then closed her eyes and forced the image from her mind. Her whole body was quaking with rage. When she opened her eyes again, they burned bright red. That thing took my grandmother. I have to kill it before I die. Kaine glanced down and saw the mysterious pattern. The pattern of the shades burnt itself into her left arm. Well, I'll be damned, said the voice cheerfully. Look at that, Sunshine. I think you and me are going to be good friends now. Kaine stared intently at her arm. The more emotional she felt, the more the letters seemed ready to puncture her skin and begin infecting the rest of her body. The arm clearly had a will of its own now. Stop. Gotta stop. Holding her left arm in her right, Kaine took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. Come on, don't fight it, pleaded the voice. Hate's my favorite dish, and I'm hungry. Oh, he's so edgy. So edgy. Let it go. Feel the anger. Burn with the fire of revenge. Thirst for blood. Then go out there and shut up. Get the hell out of my body. Your body? Oh, that's rich, Sunshine. Real rich. Look, why don't you just up and die so I can have this body all to myself? What do you say? I bet those buddies of yours in the area would love to see you dead. Kaine grabbed a nearby shard of glass and tried to saw off the side-infected portion of her side. Before she could, her darkened left arm grabbed her right wrist, crushing it. Kaine screamed and dropped the shard as the sound of bone crunching on bone filled the air. Stupid idiot girl, you're possessed now, Sunshine. There ain't no going back. The voice laughed again, a loud, long wail that seemed to go on without end. Possessed? Whispered Kaine. Yeah, possessed. You and me, we got what you might call a timeshare arrangement. Remember how folks used to think you were a freak? Well, wait till they get a load of you now. Kaine looked up, tears in her eyes. The sky seemed smaller somehow, darker. Is this because of that shade? Is this how these see the world? So, listen, I know this whole possession thing seems a bit sudden, but it ain't all bad. There's plenty in it for you, too. I'm a very powerful creature, Sunshine, and now that power belongs to you. Got enemies, people you want to kill? I can make it happen. Little fat kid kept picking on you. Big old shade squash your granny. We'll wrap them up in their own assholes. No more abuse for you, Sunshine. No more pain. Wait, you're a shade. Why would you help me kill another shade? You think I'm some kind of racist? Some killing snob? I don't give a goddamn who you murder. Honey Pants, I just want to drink from the well. Kaine considered this as she struggled to her feet. The power of the shade coursing through her. The smoke from her house was drifting away on the wind, and she enjoyed the way the cool evening breeze felt on her new left arm. After a long pause, the voice spoke up again. So, how about it? You and me. We could have some good times together. Look, I'll even take care of the bloody part if you don't want. Fuck off, asshole, muttered Kaine. I'll handle the killing. Look at you go. Ah, Sunshine. We're gonna have so much fun. So listen, my name's Tyran. So on the nose. And if you ever need me, I'll just be hanging out in this piece of meat you call a heart. Now get to it. The more you kill, the more your heart turns rotten and sour, and I like it rotten and sour. Kaine found herself nodding at the voice. Yeah, I think this can work. I'm gonna find that shade, and I'm gonna strangle it with its own guts. And when I'm done, I'm gonna do the same to you, Tyran. Count on it. Ha! I have shit bigger than you, so good luck with that. Oh, and hey, one more thing. Right now, you and me are sharing this body, but if you ever run out of hate, if you ever, go soft, I'm gonna take over everything. So keep on killing, Sunshine, and watch your back. The voice grew fainter and gradually faded away, fading to somewhere deep inside Kaine herself. Kaine waited until she was sure the voice was gone, then waved her new left arm around for a few times. It feels perfectly normal, she thought. Feels like mine. Desperately, she began poking and prodding at the new limb, determined to find something wrong with it. She didn't want it to feel normal. That would mean the creature inside her had already won. I'm not a shade. I am Kaine. Repeating this mantra in her mind, she slowly began digging through the rubble of her old house, being careful to ignore a certain red-stained spot in the center, or in the corner. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of heartbreaking work, she found what she was looking for. The wreath of lunar tears. Though it had been through hell and back, the garland's petals were as bright as ever. Kaine started to place it in her hair and then slowly lowered the wreath and stared at it. I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm so sorry. But I don't deserve to wear this anymore. I'm possessed, corrupted, a freak. And this time, I don't think there's any going back. Holding the flowers to her heart, Kaine fell to the ground and sobbed. As night gradually lightened to dawn and the people of the area rose to their daily eyes, at that line... No, because it wouldn't be... I guess this could be from a long, long time ago. But I don't know if night turning into dawn is because this happened so long ago, back before there was... like, before the planet became tidally locked and there was no daytime? Or if that's just a little contextual error. It feels like it's a contextual error, because it shouldn't have taken Kaine like 1,300 years to kill Shade. Or however long. As night gradually lightened to dawn, the people of the area rose to their daily lives. She remained in that position, as if tears could somehow wash away the horror of that now infected her world.
Alive. Stay alive.
So, yeah, so we've learned...
Stay alive.
So they never specifically tell you what is wrong with Kaine.
You gotta come back to us.
Or, again, not what is wrong, but what makes her so different that everybody hated her to begin with. And that's because she's a hermaphrodite. She's got boy bits and lady bits. And... like, Yoko Taro has gone on, like, in the interviews and that saying, like, there was no special meaning behind that. He just... Kaine was a hermaphrodite because there are hermaphrodites in the world. Like, that's just life. And Kaine just happens to be one of them. There's no
You're the one calling me, huh?
deep meaning or agenda behind it. That's just who she is.
You still
And that
recognize me?
that created all the prejudice against her from all the people in her village, and that's why they called her a freak and hated her.
Thank you.
And then the Shade took over after her grandmother died, and she lost like half her
Good to see
body.
you, Kaine.
That is why her left arm is bandaged up.
You look like shit.
That is why her left leg and left arm are all
How long has
bandaged
it been?
5 years.
to hide, to basically hide the Shade side from basically the parts that the Shade replaced, or hidden from the world. That's also why she wears the skimpy lingerie, because all the revealed bits,
Oh,
like the leg,
long
the other
time.
leg, and like all of her skimpy revealing clothing are basically an affirmation of like, this is my body, these are the parts that belong to me. So she's sort of just openly showing those, so as to try and fight against the fact that like half of her body, or not half, but a good chunk of her body is a Shade now.
any luck with Yona?
We are still no closer to
So there
finding
is a reason
her.
she's dressed
Need
as
a
a
way to locate
skank.
the Shadowlord.
That's a little harsh. That she's dressed provocatively.
This is for you.
Lunar
I
tears.
just didn't want to use the word hussy.
Welcome back gift.
Grimoire Vice has used the word hussy too many times already.
It's nothing like the one Grandma used to make, but
And now Popol is gonna kick us out. Or kick them out.
We did it.
That's great.
We've got our own house. We're allowed to stay.
Talk to you for a minute?
What do you mean
This
they gotta
doesn't make
leave?
sense.
Please, try to understand.
I'm pretty sure if Kaine just put on some like regular like clothes, she could stay.
People are tired and scared, and
Maybe give her a fake
It's
mustache.
crap.
It's okay. We can sleep
There's
outside.
No one's
disguising
sleeping
a meal.
outside. You and Kaine saved this village,
Sure
and now they
do.
want to run you out.
People are afraid of us. And really, I understand. I mean, look at me. As long as you're still with us, I can deal with it. Right, Kaine?
I'm used to sleeping outside.
Yeah,
I'm
it's okay.
sorry.
Kinda had a bit of a
We'll
bit of
see
a
you
hard
later.
life.
We're sorry.
As our whatever that was, like 50 minutes of text story time. That is one thing that plays a little bit better.
What is the matter?
When you play it by yourself, 'cause you
Kaine
just kind of
always
skim
sleeps
through it and go
outside.
through that pretty
I
quick.
never thought about that
Reading it out
until
loud
just
for an
now. How
audience,
could I have not
it
noticed
takes a
that?
little bit longer.
What the hell is wrong with me?
We should turn in.
We are now officially in Route B. Sooner or later, I will finally be able to read those documents that I wanted to read like an hour ago. Wanted to grab Popel and Strangler. This is the 5-year jump after losing Yona. Like, NieR just gets angrier and angrier. And he is now driven to just murder. Yeah, to murder every shade. Even though we now know that shades were people? Are people? Let's get some more clarification on that. I don't remember how much these documents really kind of expunge. They give you a little bit more context. Hey! 2033. You're in a relapse state, resulting in a total loss of self. Oh, I didn't finish reading that. Okay. Go see Devil in public. Yay! Where is it? Documents. Are they not in here? Do I not have them because I didn't read them right away? Son of a bitch. Oh no. Well. That's embarrassing. What the hell? I guess they take them away from you? It's weird that they do that. They don't take anything else away from you. I mean, it's still level 29. I got all my gold, my experience, and my weapons, and everything else. Oh, and my things have been messed up. The lance, I guess? My words correct? Oh no, all my words have been taken off. Attack power plus 15? Is that all I had? I don't want... I don't really need item drop rate, do I? I guess XP, why not? I really only have attack plus 15%? Wow, well, that's kind of shitty. Oh no. Unequipped all my bloody words. That's the hand one. I use the lance. Oh. And whirlwind I use once in a while. Good enough. Martial arts. Knockback resistance. No, 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 no. Okay, we're gonna have to do these manually. Physical strength plus 25, please. And what we got here? Magic defense is pretty good. MP recovery rate. Not the best I got for that. Yeah, it is. Magic defense or MP recovery rate. I'll just take the MP recovery rate, I guess. That. Oh. Is that it? I'm only gonna use the one weapon for now. Sure. Go save. Well, that's annoying. Basically... Oh, gold moonflower seed. Basically, the documents... Let me check one more time. Maybe they're in... There's no reason they would be in items. No, you must just lose them. must just lose them when you start repeating it. Cool. So basically, there's just a bunch of reports about Project Gestalt. So the whole big deal with Project Gestalt. Whew, there's a lot to go over for this. The whole big deal is that a bunch of shit happened. Humanity was dying from a disease called white chlorination syndrome, which we can go into a bit more later. Basically, humanity was getting wiped out. Shit was getting real bad, and it was basically a global pandemic to the point of humanity was going to go extinct. So they came up with Project Gestalt, where they decided that, hey, best course of action is that we are going to rip the souls. Oh, we got to Devila first. We are going to remove people's souls from their bodies, and then get rid of the bodies, and then we are going to create replicants, like artificial human bodies, you know, like artificially created human bodies. Oh, it's fine. We'll discuss the Shadowlord. We already went through this. So, create the replicants, which are artificial human bodies, and those replicants, they're just going to be like mindless, soulless. They have like the most basic sentience, enough that they would just kind of like follow orders, and like they were autonomous enough that they, you know, could exist on their own and do whatever needed to be done, rebuild society essentially. And once the disease had run its course and gone away from the world, the idea was that the Gestalts, which later became the Shades, would be put back into the replicants. So like when you got turned, when your soul got ripped out, you got a replicant made for you as well. So you had a soul, you had a container to put it back in later. The idea being that later on, the souls would be put back in, and then humanity could just continue again. And that was the way of getting around the disease. Except the whole thing went very, very wrong. Oh, NieR wants to apologize. And you start to learn about NieR, the original NieR, the NieR from the prologue that fought the Shades with the pipe way back. They were having a big problem with Project Gestalt and relapses. So, oh, waterway, I can go around. Ferryman. Oh, I've got to go to the Lost Shrine and fight the Hansel? It's Hansel? Those two shade bosses are Hansel and Gretel. I don't remember which one dies. I think Gretel's the dead one. I think the one left is Hansel. One of the two. But anyways, like, so they had problems with the Shades relapsing, so they'd yank out the soul, they'd yank out the Gestalt. Like, the Gestalt was what happened, or what basically the soul was called after it had been removed from the body. And they would start to relapse, meaning they would start to, like, lose their sense of self and go crazy, and basically turn into monsters. That's what the Shades, you know, like, the Shades that you're fighting, you know, are Gestalts. And, like, the violent, crazy ones are Shades that have relapsed. And the other problem is the replicant that's tied to the Shade. Once the Shade started to relapse, the replicant would get a reaction to it called the Black Scrawl. And that's where the Black Scrawl disease came from. So this whole Project Gestalt thing that was supposed to be the savior of humanity was going really, really bad. And I'm supposed to go to the boat, not out the frickin' door. Let's go back into the frickin' town. I'm thinking too much about Project Gestalt. Not paying attention to what I'm supposed to be doing. Even though we've already done all of this. So the gist of... that's about the information that you can kind of glean from what they've given you. Those documents don't really cover a lot of it. You just basically learn that Project Gestalt was remove the soul from the body, turn it into a Gestalt, boat is the other way. Replicants were created so that the soul would have a container. So shit was going bad. Like, the project was not working, and then NieR, you know, in a bid to save his daughter, gestaltified himself, and for whatever reason, the NieR was fine. Like, he did not relapse. He's the only one to successfully not relapse. So the researchers and the project people dubbed him the original Gestalt, because he's the only, like, the first one to have ever done it successfully 100%. And so then Yona gestaltified herself because she touched the book, those grimoire noirs, of which there were multiple, because, you know, the book kind of swapped back and forth between him and her, and that's why, because there were multiple sort of mass-produced books to help gestaltify people to try and get this shit figured out. But Yona touched the book, gestaltified herself, and immediately relapsed because she's weak and sick. So, oh, new stuff. That was Gretel. Gretel's the one alive. This is the brilliant thing about Route B, is now we can understand everything the Shades say to us, because now we know they're human. It's like we know to look. No, defective, go away. I'm not like you, I'm different. I have this cool armor. Yeah, so that's how they keep you invested for this little second go around, is now you get all this extra context of what the Shades are going through and what the Shades are thinking throughout all these events, through all your fights. But anyways, because Yona relapsed and was dying, and NieR was like this perfect, like, oh, NieR, you worked. Basically, they wanted to, like, extract shit from him so they could put it into other gestalts and make them not relapse. They basically are like, hey, you let us keep, like, yanking all this stuff out of you and be like the original gestalt and to help us out, and we'll put Yona on ice and we'll figure out how to fix her. We'll put, like, every doctor we can on it, and we'll fix your daughter. If not, we'll, like, keep her, like, frozen away and safe so that one day we can fix her. That was the deal. And eventually, NieR, now the Gestalt NieR, who's now known as the Shadowlord, got tired of waiting. So he decided to take matters into his own hands, and he is the one that started the events of this game. Gets fucking dumb-faced NieR here with his mask. Gets him to find Grimoire Vice, collect the sealed verses, all in a bid to rejoin Gestalts with their replicants. That was the whole point of Grimoire NieR, or Grimoire Noir and Grimoire Vice, is they were the catalyst. Grimoire Noir, in his big diatribe device. Oh, some more. Stop bothering me. Grimoire Vice has been taken away. Hansel's dead. No reason for me to exist anymore. Leave me alone. You. Oh, the little. Yeah, so all those little Shades, that's just children. Those are little children. NieR's been murdering little babies, like little children, like the whole game. That's why they dropped school books and stuff. But where was I? I was. Oh, that's right. Vice and Noir were created essentially as the trigger, the catalyst for finally rejoining the Gestalts with their replicants. When they were, like, combined together, that would be the trigger that started that whole process. And to sort of keep it from accidentally happening or someone triggering it at the wrong time, they created the sealed verses as sort of a double lock. So it's like Vice had to have all his sealed verses put back and then be combined with Noir, and then that would trigger basically the rebirth of humanity. Except Vice lost his memory, and Grimoire Noir, who's an asshole, doesn't really explain it very well. Instead of being like, look, Vice, you need to join with me so we can save humanity. Instead, he's like, we will let loose shades upon the world and they will bow to our power. It's like, you could have explained that a little better. If you just, taken the time to explain it properly, Vice might have been like, oh, yeah, no, that sounds good. We should do. Oh no, the blocks are back. Fucking blocks. My greatest enemy. Come on, just no, not that way. God damn it. But yeah, so there's so many things that could have been handled a lot differently, and it probably would have resulted in, this whole plan going a little bit better. But Devilo and Popola, they are androids created by humanity. They're not even the only Devilo and Popola. They are a essentially series of androids. They are like a model, and sets of Devilos and Popolas were basically spread around the world to watch over groups of replicants and basically like watch over them and guide them and basically oversee them. They are overseers. And like their job is just like, just keep shit running and keep it going until it's time to put the humans back in. And then, so despite all the problems of Project Gestalt and all the horrible things that like didn't work and everything, it all seemed to be going all right until one day the replicants decided they like ended up developing their own sapience. So eventually the replicants began to sort of think and feel and develop their own consciousness, their own soul. So now the idea of jamming another soul back into them doesn't really work, and that's what you see with Yona at the very end in like ending A that we just watched, where she's talking about like, no, there's another girl in here and she's like terrified and wants her daddy. And Yona's like, I don't want any of this. Because you're basically forcing her to share that body with like another soul that's already there. So Project Gestalt, the last best hope for mankind, was a complete and utter failure in every way that it possibly could have been. That's the beauty of it. Like, it failed so hard, so bad. But as bad as it was, in the end, they probably could have made it work. And then NieR goes and fucks it all up. Because, like I said, with Shadowlord being the original Gestalt, he's essentially the one kind of holding everything together. He's keeping the other shades from relapsing. Like the ones that haven't relapsed and gone crazy, like the ones that are still with it, like Gretel in there. Like he's the key to keeping them all going. Oh look, shades are talking.
Who are these guys?
But
Their bodies aren't fully functional.
I've heard of this. A cursed area where incomplete shades gather.
Oh, thanks, Tyran. You also get Tyran's point of view once in a while now, as edgelord as he frickin' is. Get a lot of context in this run-through. Again, I lost my train of thought again. But yeah, I was getting to the point where, so NieR, in his quest to save his daughter, because he doesn't understand any of these things that are happening. He doesn't understand that he's a replicant, that his Yona is a replicant, that like all the people from his village and all the people he knows are replicants. And he doesn't get what's going on. All he knows is shades are monsters and he has to kill them. So he kills so many. Look at all these human beings that I'm killing. These little children. These small children that I'm just murdering and splattering on the walls. killing them all just to get Yona back. And eventually, once he kills the Shadowlord, who's keeping this whole horrible... He's keeping the plates spinning. They're wobbling, but he's still keeping them spinning up there. And NieR cuts him down, and that is it. So, like, the second you get that beautiful happy ending with NieR and Yona being reunited, that marks the absolute termination of humanity. Because with the Shadowlord gone, every Gestalt will relapse in time, and when they all relapse, the replicants will get Black Scrawl and they'll die. And so all replicants, all Gestalt, every last scrap of humanity is doomed to go extinct. The second NieR kills Shadowlord just to get his daughter back. That is the tragedy of this game. And knowing that finality to this game made it so weird that a sequel got announced, but then it's androids. It's like, okay, that makes sense. And then it also marks the difference between starting up NieR Automata as somebody who doesn't know the series. It's like, oh, cool looking game, started up. It's like humanity has been chased off to the moon because aliens invaded. It's like, oh, cool. There's humanities, the last humans are on the moon. But if you know NieR and you know this story and what it contains, you hear humanity's on the moon. You're like, the fuck? What? What do you mean they're gone? There's no humanity. NieR wiped out everything. He killed the Shadowlord. Everything is gone. How the fuck are humans on the moon? And that is the difference between the start of an Automata playthrough. When you have an idea of sort of what's going on. Luckily, I'm so strong that I don't have to pay any attention to this combat. I just mash buttons. It's another beautiful thing about this repeat playthrough. NieR starts to sort of... Now that you know that, what the shades are, that the shades are human souls, NieR just murdering them, and his just blatant hatred towards all of them, oh my god, it's so damn good thing. This playthrough, when you're so much stronger, you're, so much more powered up. The fact that... Oh, because you went Gestalt before the change was complete. But after this, I think I can understand you. I think we can speak as equals. Yeah, Gretel's learning to live with the little incomplete child shades. I hope we can spend the rest of our lives. Oh, what was that noise? What was that NieR-shaped noise that I heard? But yeah, being super powerful on that, gets your end game powered still. It's New Game Plus, kind of. So being that strong, and then having to do all these things now with the context of your being a monster, you have justification in your own mind of what you're doing, but from the outside looking in, NieR is a monster. And you kill things so easily, you feel like a monster, and that's a really great twist on your second run through of it.
I wish everyone felt the same way.
This is also why
I like camping out with
NieR's
Kaine.
birthday is September 11th.
In a weird way.
Yoko Taro sort
Sometimes
of
we
went on
sit around
an
the fire
interview
and
once
tell
saying that
stories,
September 11th
roast-
Emil, that's enough.
gave
You got
him
a fucking image to maintain.
gave him some of the inspiration, it gave him some of the ideas for this story.
We seem to be surrounded by
Mob of helpless puppies indeed.
Just kick it.
But he wanted to do a game, he wanted to explore a story where everybody looks at the whole world from the outside looking in. We all see you know, September 11th is a huge tragedy, and the people who perpetrated it are like horrible murderers. But like Yoko Taro, like what would a story be like told from their point of view? Because you know that, like, you know, the entire rest of the world think they're murderers and horrible, but they themselves don't think, you know, they don't think of themselves that way. They think what they were doing was justified or heroic or whatever the hell crazy thing they thought. And he wanted to explore an idea of a story from that point of view, where it's like, is such horrific acts, like, is doing something so horrible, like killing tons of, like, NieR is murdering people. He doesn't know it. He doesn't realize it. You as the player now realize it. Is it justified? Like, can you justify that to yourself? Like, can you side with NieR, knowing now what you know, that he is murdering all of humanity to get his daughter back? Like, is that... Like, oh, now Gretel's defending little babies. Basically, what are you willing to do to save a loved one? What are you willing to live with?
What's going on? There's dozens of them!
Stop! They can't defend themselves.
These are creatures of the darkness. Lure them to the light.
Oh, like, they just... This one especially, they really kind of hammer it home. It's like, they're so weak and pathetic. It's like, no. Like, Gretel's just telling you over and over. It's like, no, I'm just... Like, stop hurting them, please.
Oh, you're funny. I'm gonna start crying.
And Tyran, of course. Tyran's a shade. He knows exactly what he's saying. He's always known what's going on. I mean, NieR doesn't know what's going on. Oh, so much damage. Oh. You also get hints, because Kaine's got the shade inside her, that she is also hearing this. That Kaine, you get a couple of spots throughout the game to play through that, of acknowledgement that Kaine knows exactly what the shades are saying, and she can understand them speaking. But as we know from Kaine's story now, oh, there is friends. Yeah, we know that if she gives into anything but hate, like if she like softens up or tries to basically tries to do anything good or noble, really, that Tyran will take over.
You gotta lust for blood. You gotta embrace the slaughter.
You guys are too strong.
All we know is the thrill of battle. Ain't that right, guys?
Guys, stop killing the boss for me. Trying to listen to Tyran speak. Oh, he's spinning to win. Okay. Now you're done. That's what I really love about this story. Like, between the two games, I think this, especially when you consider everything that sort of extends around it, with Project Gestalt and all that stuff, I think the original NieR has a better story than Automata did. It's just Automata, the polish on it, it's just such a better game. But I think story-wise, like, this is a more interesting story, just with that juxtaposition of basically that turn of your first playthrough. It's like, you're killing monsters. Like, yeah, we're gonna kill these monsters and save my daughter. And then your second playthrough is like, oh my god, I'm a horrible monster. Like, I am a psychopath, and I just don't know it, because NieR doesn't have the context to know. He can't know. He's just not aware. of how much of a fucking monster he is.
Kaine, are you alright? We've got to get help.
I fear
That's
there is
fine.
little we can do.
Walk it off.
No! Kaine!
Get back.
What is that?
Also, the fact that the shade part of her can like part of the like that Tyran's part can help her regrow limbs and stuff like that. It goes to explain why she can get impaled through the chest like this and not die. She gets like cut down a couple other times, like back in the Airy. She gets cut down pretty good, and it's fine. This is what would happen if Tyran took over full time. I don't think we actually get any dialogue.
No other choice. We must strike it down.
Kaine! Please come back!
Oh, I do have spear though. Damn it. Oh, no! Damn it, Kaine. Oh, that was weird. God. Drop it! Okay, we're just gonna throw one. Yeah.
Stay your blade.
Oh, yeah.
Magic
Oh,
is
definitely
required against
magic.
this foe.
Oh, yeah. So much magic waste.
Oh dear.
Stay your blade. Magic. Oh, you stabbed her with your spear and it worked. Oh.
Kaine!
Well, even a book can be wrong.
I couldn't hold it back. I can't be with you.
We're always going to be together, Kaine. If you transform again, we'll just stop it again. As many times as it takes. I don't care how tough it is. We're gonna get you back. I like sleeping outside because I'm with you, Kaine. I'm able to ignore my appearance and keep going because of you. I'm weak and sad and lonely, but somehow you make me strong. You're my friend and I need you, so you can't go away.
Oh, Neil.
All right. All right. Stop crying.
I don't know what NieR's doing in this part. He's like, yes. He's the hype man. Every time Emil says something touching and nice, he's like,
Thank you. I'm all right.
One other thing that I would love to see, if they ever did remake NieR, Yoko Taro said that when people have asked him, he's like, would you ever do a remake of NieR? And he's basically said, like, if Square Enix would give me money, I'll do anything. He'll do anything for money. He's not a picky man. But if they ever did one, like, one of the biggest things that I would really like to see fixed in this game is the fact that Grimoire Weiss does not appear unless you're using your magic. I would really like to see him float around at all times like the pods do in NieR Automata. Like, I don't like the fact he's... like, because he's always talking, and he's always sort of pretty prevalent in most of the cutscenes, and he's got a big role in the story. But most of the time, he's just a disembodied voice, because the book is not there. You know, in key scenes, we get, you know, some book animation, where he flies in and animates and does stuff, and that's great. I wish, like, he was at least just floating around like the pods do. And it probably was a limitation at the time. Time limitation, hardware limitation, but... that is one of the biggest things I would like to see fixed if they ever did remake this game, but... I don't know. I don't see them actually ever doing a remake of NieR. In the end, as much as I would love to play a PS4 HD remake, all jazzed up with proper platinum combat, basically Automata's gameplay in this game, as amazing as that would be, I would really rather have a new game, a new experience. But fuck, what after Automata, which is 8,000 years in the future of this. What on, like, where on earth do you go past the, like, I don't know where he could possibly take the story for this, for like 15,000 years later. So, Law of Robotics is the junk heap. Memory tree is the forest of myth. Oh, just kill things. By all means, let us undertake a murderous rampage. We kill them or they kill us. Kill shades, save my daughter, easiest thing in the world. Oh, NieR. The most painful part is he never figures it out. Even after they tell him, even after, like, he doesn't get it. Even through the endings, like after they're like Project Gestalt is revealed, and the girls, you know, Popola and Devil are revealed to be androids and Shadowlords. Like after he's told everything, he doesn't process it. He doesn't really understand it. And that's like the worst thing to. Like, he ends it all never understanding exactly like what has happened or what he's doing. In the end, maybe we'll just blame Kime for it. Kime and his stupid dragon bringing the Queen Beast to. We will go to the junk heap and we'll just initiate that. That'd be nice and quick and painless. There's no reason to fast travel. Whoosh. Sunshine. Endless sunshine. Hey look, children. I don't know if you get random lines of dialogue from just the regular fodder enemies. Oh, it's doing that thing again. I don't think you do. Haha, you missed. I don't think you get any dialogue, like extra little bits of dialogue. I do know a few of the side quests, not very many, and very, very minor, but a few here and there. If you do them on the second half, in Route B, where you can understand the shades, you actually get a little bit of dialogue. Like there's one shade, it's one quest that I did already for. I went back to Emil's mansion and killed a shade that was in the library. It was like super, super tough, and it didn't attack you ever. You just pounded on it until it was dead. And it was just like looking at the books. Like that's all it was doing. Oh, I'll get Khalil.
Get him! Don't let him escape!
You gonna die, Mom? Yes. I mean, no, it's fine.
There's something over there!
You're almost grown up now. Well, can a shade grow up? Probably not. I would imagine not. No, sorry, Khalil. Your mom's going to sacrifice herself so that you can live. And then the sounds of Shade dying. P-33.
Who are you?
I'm Khalil. What?
Military defense robot.
P-33. It's the robot that we murdered earlier.
You are an intruder. You must be
Sounds
eliminated.
right?
Error. There is
Must
something
be
leaking
cooler.
from your eyes.
Big dumb robot. Who is
What
Mom?
is crying? Who is Mom? My creator is also dead. He perished
Oh, that's not
hundreds
so
of
bad,
years
then.
ago.
Hundreds of years. I like that. Just hundreds of years ago. Really?
874 years, 10 months, 14 days, 4 hours, and 43 minutes. 44 minutes.
And this. See, I'm trying to process that date in my mind off of the 1312 years later that the time skip, but it doesn't matter because we don't know how long ago this was. This could be 500 years ago.
I am incapable of being lonely.
Or crying.
Or missing others. Or crying.
You will die?
Will die.
That's what eliminating intruders is, buddy.
Why? Will they kill you? I will not permit the
Aw,
humans to kill
P-33
Khalil.
so good.
Military defense robot
Oh,
P-33
he defend.
will protect you.
He defend.
P-33 is charged
Defend,
with
he
defending
protect.
others. P-33 will defend Khalil.
I'm gonna call you BP. P-33 is now BP. BP's the best robot. And Automata is also all of his fault. It's this scene again.
There's gotta be tons
Much
of
like-
machinery here.
Yeah, but
Much like
I don't
all
know
of
how much we
NieR
can
is
actually use.
NieR's fault.
Oh wow! Check this out.
Automata
it
is
looks brand
technically
new.
BP's fault.
Hey, be careful there.
I'm fine.
Oh, look what you did, Gideon.
Oh no.
Gideon, being a stupid child, doesn't realize what he has done. That he has just murdered his brother. Not murdered, manslaughter. His not being careful got his brother killed. Jacob was the good one, too.
Jacob! Jacob, no! No, this can't be happening!
And then, pulling it right off. It's like how bad, to be fair, how bad a shape was Jacob that arm was just so easily able to just tear off. BP! And this starts Gideon down the genocidal path of kill all robots. Why would you do this, BP? Why? Oh, you didn't do it.
The noise of the intruders caused the structure to fail.
Oh no.
They should have proceeded with more
It
caution.
wasn't BP's fault at all.
One intruder has perished.
Oh. Oh, he even thought they were nice. Khalil he didn't even wish them ill. He wanted to be friends with them.
The junk heap. Perhaps we should speak to the brothers.
Oh, it's all going
They might
so
know
bad
something
for
about this.
everybody. Hey, buddy. Cool robot arm you got there.
Hello again.
Oh, you've grown up. Where's your brother? Oh, he's dead. Oh. I need to ask you something. I'm looking for shades. Ones I want to kill and kill big, strong shades. It's like, nah. I just want to destroy robots. No, no. Okay, rip them up. Oh, yeah, this can be with the shades. Hey, look, you got a quest thing above your head. Wait. Very powerful weapon. Oh, I got Iron Will. Do we not already have this weapon? Shh, these things happen the second time around. It's best not to think about it. This sword has seen better days. Can you repair it? I can repair anything. I like that. Memory alloy. Damn it. I was gonna say, I think I have memory alloy on me, but it's gotta be a special memory alloy. Now, if I do remember correctly, they do something very smart and very appreciated. I actually haven't saved in a while. Let's do that. They do something very, very appreciated. Unless they just give you the memory alloy. Health. I think you go in here and you just get it. Yep, obtain memory alloy.
It's a shame about the older lad. He was but a child.
He died protecting the only
I think
family
we listened to
he had
this
left.
part last time.
It's a damn shame.
Yeah, so I like that. Like, this is not the part where, you know, you go fight BP in that arena. This was just go all the way down, fight a whole bunch of robots. More scene with BP. What's a ship?
A large seagoing vessel that carries freight and passengers over bodies of water.
BP, so smart.
You have taught me much,
Just
Kalia.
a little kid sitting on his robot's chest having a good time.
You have helped to expand my vocabulary. You have instructed me in the ways of the outside world.
I don't know anything. I'm stupid. Let's go explore.
Because we
they're friends. Whoa, we're gonna kill them and ruin everything. This is so NieR. You're so awful. They're just friends. He's just a little boy and his robot. As I was saying, because this part was just go all the way to the bottom, kill a bunch of just like random enemies until you got this memory alloy and come back. They just skip it. You just walk in and it's like, here you go. It's like, we know. Just get. Go enjoy the rest of the game. Like, let me upgrade this weapon that's already upgraded. It's like, oh, this is gonna take a while. See ya. Can I upgrade anything useful while I'm here? Strengthen weapons. Not Beast Curse. Can't do the Labyrinth Song. I need one Fluorite. Shit, those are down. Those are down where I was supposed to go to get this memory alloy. Boom. Can't do the Beast Lord either because I need one gold ore. That's a shame. I don't really want to eat Iron Will. I need another memory alloy and rust. I think rusted clumps come from fishing, so that's never gonna happen. Never ever gonna happen. Fuck fishing. Oh, we got some free time on our hands. We're gonna go speak with Popola. I'm gonna leave the Forest of Myth. I'm gonna leave the Forest of Myth for next time because we've already had a nice. I could skip it. I could mash through the Forest of Myth. We covered it in our last playthrough, but with the things we know now, there's some stuff I want to go over in that story as it pertains to the tree, because the tree is actually a very important piece of Project Gestalt. And there's a bunch of stuff in those little stories it tells you that are worth talking about, so we will save that for our next session. Oh my god, that's twice I've hit that ladder. The fuck are the odds? Nailed that ladder twice in a row. But yeah, we did like an hour of reading for Kaine stuff this session already, so a little bit text heavy. So I think I'm just gonna hit that rock. Stone Guardian. Okay, yeah, so Facade, the Airy, back to the Robotics Law in the Memory Tree. Going and talking to Popola, maybe we can get the Junk Heap one to trigger again. We can just go right back to Junk Heap, finish that off. That would be nice. So that we can have the story of Khalil and VP just completely depress us and make us feel horrible. I think Popola is going to give us the Airy. We might have to go do the Airy first. Which isn't so bad. I don't think there's a whole... I don't think you learn a ton more in the Airy quest.
Yeah.
Shadowlord's key? Nope, this is really hard. Loyal Service could be a dog. Do what it can. Oh. You have mail. Oh, so it's the Facade one. Get Facade over with real early this time. I didn't think you get the Facade one this... Yeah, no, because she gives you... She's the one that gives you the letter from the Airy. So the... If I've got mail, that's gotta be Facade? I guess we're gonna find out. Oh, yeah, it's the thing from the King of Facade. Okay. Sure. There can't be any depressing context when it's with the wolves. I mean, it's just some... They're just some big, swole, frickin' beasties. There's no way that can end in any kind of depressing manner whatsoever. Let's just go to Facade. Oh, let's take the boat. Let's take the boat. Boat. Take boat. Take boat. Boat. At level 30? Yeah, level 30. Now I'm interested to see if that caps out at level 30 or not. I'm also tempted to get the DLC. I'm going to look into it a bit more. The DLC is just... I think it's just a bunch of combat arenas and stuff like that, and costumes, much like the DLC was in NieR Automata. But it has a little bit to do with NieR's wife, his deceased wife. So that could be interesting. I don't know if I don't think there's really any story tidbits in there. I'll look it up and see if it's worth even getting. We were trying to go to the desert. See if it's worth getting and playing through. I don't think it's gonna be. Oh, cutscene wolves. Pork. We cannot defeat these humans during combat. Oh, they're so swole, look at them. I know that they can learn to live alongside others. Oh, Shade Doggo has faith in us. But if Shade Doggo's so good, then why Doggos do so bad?
Scorpions look kind of like shrimp. What if you can eat them?
Indeed you can. Long ago, people operated food stands
It's like,
where they
Grimoire Vice
the
can
creatures on
remember
skewers and fried
that,
them whole.
you know, long ago...
How the hell do you know that?
You can remember that long ago, humans used to eat scorpions. You could buy them from food carts. But he can't remember, like, anything important.
Whatever,
Like, why he was created.
What was that, hussy?
Goddamn Vice. Selective frickin' memory. Alright. I think we may end up skipping a couple of, Hey look, it's you again. I guess the side quests don't persist either. I have to collect the side quests that I had incomplete. Because that person's side quest I didn't finish. So I guess I have to start it again. Makes sense. Where am I going? Mansion. Might skip a few of these cutscenes. It's just the king and his wedding again. Yes. It's wedding time. Jump for joy, it's wedding time. That is not making me move faster at all. It's like quite the opposite. It is just slowing me down. Yeah, you came.
I hear your days of bachelorhood are coming to a close.
It's like, oh, you're getting hitched.
Sympathies.
Forgive my prying.
Oh, yes. Who's your bride? Oh, it's Fira, and she's so tall. Like,
You have grown into
freakishly
a fine
tall.
example of womanhood.
Kaine's gonna want to see that.
Although, to be fair, I remember a girl from when I was in high school who was, like, freakishly tall. I was, like, 13, 14, so... Like, it's not like it's unheard of. Yeah, I went to junior high with a girl, she was probably 6 feet tall. Had to have been.
How can
How
we
can we
refuse?
refuse? Cat, you gonna crawl all over me again? I mean, could you not? You just, like, save it till we're done. Okay, thanks. Oh, doggos. It's the swolves. Oh no, one of the swolves has been caught in a human trap. Why would they hunt us? I don't know, you guys have been kind of killing them too, haven't you? I mean, all we ever heard is like the wolves attack us. Oh, these guys are like, nope. Can't let these wolves ruin the wedding. Oh no. Oh, those two guys just slaughter those wolves. Oh no. But it's fine, wedding. Yay, wedding. Oh, rules about flying books. Now we talk to Kaine. God damn it, cat. It's like, oh, you could swear a lot because you like to do that. And that's fine. And you should get some new lingerie. It's funny. And there we go. Jump for no reason. I just want to jump. I just want to jump. We talked to good boy Emil. He's like, oh, what about your wedding? And it's like, haha. Moving on. Really? Fine. It's like, oh, I'm so excited about the wedding. What about your wedding? It's like, oh yeah. Did you do all this cool stuff? My wedding, it was a long time ago. And moving on. Time to go sleep. And Emil's like, no, but I love you, NieR. So that's something that doesn't translate as well in this version, in that you don't, like, that's the one thing you don't really get any hints towards it in the English version of NieR, just because of the way the translation worked out, especially because of NieR's old man Papa NieR. But in NieR Replicant, the version in Japan that has young NieR, you get this, like, a hint in that conversation. It ends in kind of a completely different way, with where they talk, they talk about getting married one day. It's not asking, like, what was your wedding like? It's more of a question of what, like, it's like, oh, I hope that we can get, like, I hope, like, what's your wedding gonna be like, or something like that. He just kind of jokingly asks, and when he walks away, he says something about, like, wanting to marry NieR, or just kind of hints at it, because Emil is gay. And that, again, is something Yoko Taro talked about later on, that I just brought up later, and it's just another one of those just matter-of-fact things. It's just, that happens to be who Emil is. And so Emil has a big good boy crush on young NieR. It's not... like, those feelings are still kind of there. Like, if you know that, you can kind of see the undertones of it towards Papa NieR, but it's not the same. You know, because NieR's this ugly old man. Who could love him? Like, even Yona's probably like, Dad, can you face the wall when I hug you? Because you're so ugly. But yeah, there's much more of a sort of affection towards the young NieR and Replicant, and that's like just one of those things that you just don't really pick up on in the English version of the game, or probably at all in NieR Gestalt in general, because this version is essentially NieR Gestalt.
Finding light in the bad times is the mark of a true leader.
I couldn't have spoken
As
better.
I just talk over the
Man works better
conversation
when
of
you
like,
trust
oh, you know, we gotta fight the wolves. So poor Emil, he gets blowed up by the Popola. He doesn't get to marry pretty boy NieR. Oh, the doggo bit it. Poor doggo. Oh, the swolves. Oh, that one's... oh, some of them are still alive. Oh, those two hunters killed so many of them. Oh, and they were pups. They're not even just regular doggos, they're pups. Oh, I don't think that's helping. No, I'm just probably making it worse doing that. Oh, he doesn't know any better, he's just a doggo. No doggo. What's this? Justified outrage towards the, well, humans, but... the wolves were not horrible, awful, monstrous animals that just wanted to kill everything. Oh no. Oh no. What a difference context makes. What horrible, depressing situations we found ourselves in.
Everywhere. Everyone's
Oh,
happy.
but it's fine, it's a wedding. Everything's great.
Jealous. Aren't you kind of jealous, Kaine?
Oh, I can't speed this part up because I need to wait for the talking. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, now kiss. Now make them kiss. Make them kiss. Oh, Fear is gonna get borked by that pupper. Everybody's so happy. It's like, oh, swirly thing. Oh, the swolves. The swolves are coming. Like, huh? What? Oh, no. Look at them, they're so swole. Now I gotta really be careful. Raped our forest, poisoned our streams, and now slaughter our young. I'm trying to remember what his name is. As my party members attempt to murder him. The puppers are just fighting us because they've had enough. It's perfectly justified.
Our opponent has the power to reflect magic.
You gonna say more, doggo? Look how much damage. Because I'm so powerful, look how much damage Kaine and Emil are doing. Now this is it. Oh, can't hit him. There we go. Let's just do a whole health bar. Bark, bark.
Here.
Here we see once again.
Here.
Old
Asate.
Fear.
Sasyo. Yes.
This I am gonna skip. As we went through this in yesterday's session. The sad death scene with our beloved Fira. Yep, King's gonna go charging into the wolves. Oh wow, because I have other things I can do, I don't even have to go fight the wolves yet. I could go look for that letter. No, we're gonna finish what we started. We're gonna murder these puppers. Time to avenge Fira. Damn the wolves. Killing everybody. I'm the king. Screw the rules.
Madness. The wolves who attack.
Like, no, it's too many wolves. Like, no, we'll kill them all.
We're not doing it for you.
It's, like,
It's for
we'll come with you because we like to
If
kill
this is indeed
things.
the plan.
And also Fira. This scene I will also skip. The very touching scene between the king and the advisor. Oh, I guess I can just speak to the text. Multiple rules. Yeah, but rules killed Fira. Well, no, they didn't. Wolves did, but what did Fira ever do? Like, no. Fira's sick. No. Like, you're being an idiot, King. I'm not gonna let you go. This is the one I'm gonna skip. It's a very nice scene with them being like, no, we went around to everybody to get permission for war with the wolves. This all that's left. Humans will be here soon. We could run. We could just leave and live on. Bork, 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 bork. I understand. Instead, we'll all just die here. For the pride of our pack, we will instead just die with honor. Pork, 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 pork. This is for Fira. For a second there, I thought I was going to fight him right away, but now I got to fight the regular puppers. Oh.
The wolves appear to be targeting the king.
Hey, you know what? Actually, no, I don't want to do that because there might be text. There might be some speech with the leader, the pack leader, when he gets down here, and I don't want to have my spinny things going and accidentally kill him. because that's a real threat at this point. And it's dogged. So I don't... It's like, these wolves, why are they so angry? There's no justifiable reason for all these wolves to be this angry. Hey. Oh, we never forgive you, humans. You killed, like, all of our young puppers. The last one. Yep. Oh. Oh. That did so much damage.
Stay on your guard.
Guard the king! I don't think there's any significant dialogue with him in this fight. Second I take my guard down. Yeah, no, I think it's just the king. Really? Bam. Sorry, doggo. Now he smack talks the doggo, just like last time. That's what I was gonna say. What did they do? They were just being doggos, and then the humans killed them all. Oh, pupper. That is how he knew that humans and the wolves could live together. Because his owner put him up to be gestalted instead of himself. And that is why he is the loyal Cerberus. Man, just nothing but warm, happy feelings in this playthrough. And Sphere is still dead.
I believe that young Fira was perfectly content with a life. Of course, she was terribly proud. Is that another infernal rule?
This we've seen before, so we'll skip through. Well, off we go. Yeah, so I really wish I remember what the dog's name was, but something. Not Hook. Hook is the lizard that kills Kaine's grandmother's named Hook. Like, all the bosses are named after, like, nursery rhyme character, not nursery rhyme, but like children's story characters like Hansel and Gretel. There's Hook. The big floating thing in the area is named Wendy. Oh, we got a village. I don't remember what the dog is named. I'll go look it up. Take too long to find. But yeah, so the dog was turned into a gestalt instead of the owner. Because the owner just didn't want to live forever. I guess he was up to be gestalted. And he's like, nah, take my dog instead. I don't wanna live any longer. I've lived a full and long life. I don't wanna be like live on and see all this crazy shit. Do I have a letter? I do. The weapon's ready, but I already have. No, so all the Shade Wolf wanted was for humans and wolves to live in peaceful coexistence. And humans ruined it. Because that's what we do. We ruin things. So, off we go. Back to Junk Heap. I was thinking of calling it after that, but screw it. One more. One more horribly depressing mission. And then we can all go to bed and just cry ourselves to sleep. As would seem appropriate. Because we already know how this next story ends, unfortunately. We know that we go fight a giant robot and kill it, and its little shade. Now we know that they are friends. It was BP. And I'll kill it safe. Ugh, almost. I'm trying to think of how much there was for me to go through to get to where I fight BP and Khalil. Don't think it's that much. Whoop. So really annoyed I didn't read those bloody documents. God damn it, that's what pissed me off until we get back to that point again on this playthrough. Ah, damn it. I really did not expect... Oh, I gotta talk to the brother. Getting ahead of myself. I really did not expect them to disappear out of my inventory. Maybe it's because I didn't look at them. Maybe if I had looked at them, they would have stayed. I'm still level 30. I wonder if you can go beyond 30. I guess we'll find out. Oh, it does say next. So I guess you can go beyond 30. I wonder what the level cap actually is. Hey!
Hey there.
Here's your weapon.
Great.
Yeah.
You know,
Go kill stuff.
I need to ask.
Oh, yeah?
I want
Why don't you go murder
avenge
the
me.
robot
That's a
and kill
rather
my brother?
It's my mission. It's why I've been creating these weapons. I don't care about
Just want
money.
to kill
What bastard?
The ones in the
Shade and
mountain.
his robot. There are shades
There
here?
are shape. Your brother was killed by a...
Yes.
And what if...
Yeah, yeah.
killing
You
time.
guys have... Your genocide boners are so erect right now. Like, it's all... Like, the ceiling is almost coming off. They are so huge. But, let's get going. Rolling. Keep rolling. Basement 2? That's where I'm supposed to go, right? Just did this yesterday. I think I'd remember. Although I think we went down the wrong elevator yesterday. I think I went all the way to the second floor elevator and found there was nothing on the second floor. And I was like, well, back to this elevator. Hi, Yona. Maybe we shouldn't blame NieR for all these problems. Blame Yona. It's all her fault.
The elder brother
She didn't exist to get kidnapped.
Do you think he was ever truly happy?
He was able to help shape the
Oh yeah, combat arena. Boom. God, I need some kind of... I wish I had just some kind of crazy AoE. I guess the spinny blade things are kind of Get up NieR, you lazy bastard. That it? That it? Oh. Do do do. Oh, such good music. Yeah, I'm absolutely going the wrong way. Good thing I checked. Gotta get into this stupid thing. Let's go. Okay, Emil. I can see it, your skeleton skirt. Oh. Oh. Look at your bone, your bony body. Oh yeah, I can make this go faster. That is probably a thing that I should be doing. Oh. Got so many enemy things to kill. Maybe I should just keep shooting out like the homing one. It's probably a better idea. Hey, level up. Alright, that answers that question. Alright, so you can get past level 30. Getting so strong. I thought there was gonna be a scene. No scene. Now we fight a P-33 knockoff or two. I think these guys are P-22s. Is that his chest? Okay, can you not kill me for like 2 seconds? I'm trying to read your belly. Whatever. I think they're P-22s. That's what I'm gonna go with. Yellow. Yeah, so the only slog, of course, after this would be Route C/D. Oh god, I'm turned around. This way. Oh, that's right. I made this a lot longer than it had to be last time because I went and fought the extra robot to try and get more memory alloy. Those are shut in. Gotta have one more combat arena for the robots. That's fine. They're all dead. Go shoot the robots. Nice. Look at all these goodies. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do do do. Oh, that's right. Forgot about this cool room. I constantly forget that this room even exists. Just because, like I said in the last time we ran through it, like, there should be more rooms like this.
I've never heard of a shade living
Like, the
within
factory
a
should have had lots of spots that look like this, because this is really cool.
I'll kill the shade and anyone who gets in my way.
It would have been great if a lot more of the factory looked like this. And there's the combat arena where we're gonna fight. It's right there. Just up there. There's the hole. Yeah. Down there's the robot. We got it. Down this hole is nothing but sadness and depression. Let's go! The worst part about this one is that BP knows English, or whatever everybody speaks anyways, but he could mediate this. He understands the shade, and he understands us, so if BP was a bit smarter, he could basically, like, be a mediator between the shades and the humans, the shades and the replicants, essentially. And everything would be fine. All of humanity would be extinct.
There it is.
Good lord.
Well, it's not really any of ours in the other ones.
Intruder detected. Scanning. Exterminating.
Do it, BP. Beat him up, BP.
Look at the shade!
That thing's
Commanding it by just talking to it.
Aim for the legs! Knock it down! Take out the shade!
Exterminating.
No, BP, stop. Oh, even Khalil's like, no. No, BP, you're getting hurt. No. He's even telling him to stop.
Must defend my mission.
He just doesn't want to be alone. He wants BP to stop fighting.
No! Damn it! That's a shade!
Oh,
It's a shade!
Kaine can hear him.
Kill him.
Kaine hears exactly what's going on.
Feel the hate inside you.
Ow. Fucking rat. I'm gonna just stand in this, okay? If you don't mind, I'm gonna just stand in your AoE. Because I am too strong. Your AoE almost, it heals me. It doesn't even damage me at this point. It gives me more strength. Aw, cool angel, BP angel transformation. Which leads me to believe, BP, why didn't you just fucking do this like an hour ago? Before NieR and the gang got here and left.
Exterminating.
This thing can transform?
Bang, bang. Falling debris.
Look out!
Oh,
Escape.
BB, no.
See the Lord.
Oh, he was was never trying to run away. He was never trying to.
Must protect.
BP was never trying to crush us with the ceiling. All he was trying to do was run, or not run, but he was trying to get Khalil to safety. That's all he wanted.
No mere robot can face the majesty of Grimoire Weiss.
Can't
God,
concentrate
that
with all
just
this
melts him.
bullshit fancy talk.
No, BP, no! You gotta stop, BP. That's all BP wanted was to get Khalil to safety. That's all he wanted. NieR, what have you done to BP? Oh, now there's lots of Khalils, which doesn't make any sense, actually. I don't know why that happens. Like Khalil himself doesn't even attack you. Like, look at him. He doesn't attack. Kaine's just trying to murder him. He doesn't even want to fight you. Oh, those ones. I don't know what that is. It must be like some weird, like, shade attack thing. Maybe that's why there's so many shades, because they can split off. I don't know. That's not really explained. Nope, NieR. All you did was murder a child and his best friend robot. BP, no.
Must
He just wanted.
defend my
He just
mission.
wanted to defend his friend.
mission.
Mission.
BP, no. He just want to be with you forever.
Khalil. Together. BP alone. BP. Cry.
You.
You stupid
And Gideon
machine!
comes in and fucking
You
kicks
killed
Salt
my
Maroon,
family! You took everything from me!
being a little shit.
Why did you have to be here?
Beautiful. What a perfect example. of
Yeah, pretty
humanity.
much.
Hitting that thing won't bring your brother back.
He's dead! And it's this bastard's fault! And hitting it makes me
It wasn't
feel
his
better!
fault. It was your
Just
fault.
wait! You freak! You
You got him
freak.
to kill
I'm gonna
BP.
explore this entire mountain now! I'll make terrible weapons! Killing
No,
machines!
you're gonna get the black scrawl sooner or later when NieR fucks everything up.
Madness driven by hate. This is hardly
Yeah,
the happy
no
ending I
kidding
was
it's not.
expecting.
He doesn't know any other way.
Revenge is a fool's errand.
I know.
Yeah, so... Oh, Forest of Myth. So before we go, BP, P33, has a story. It was actually not a short story released with Grimoire NieR, the sort of compendium that came out after. Compendium art book. A bunch of different things. But it was part of the Drakengard 3 art book. A story called Fires of Prometheus. And it takes place hundreds of years after this. And P33 comes back online. He's not dead. He eventually manages to self-repair after hundreds and hundreds of years. and he wanders around the junk heap, the gigantic mountain factory, sort of repairing himself, and he runs into other like robots and factory robots, and they start to go around, and he basically brings them into himself, and they sort of form a collective hive mind, the BP hive mind. And so they continue to go and expand and travel through the place until they eventually are able to collect enough supplies to turn themselves into like a giant rocket and blast themselves out of the mountain. And this happens a couple thousand years, or at least several hundred years before the events of NieR Automata. But BP and his collective hive mind, they all blast themselves like a gigantic space rocket out of the mountain. Like BP, BP collects the hive mind by because BP becomes completely self-aware. He becomes alive because of the words that Khalil taught him, because Khalil was his friend, and the last thing Khalil said to him, like, basically was he wanted BP to live. And, like, those words, like, you need to live, echoed so strongly within him that it gave him sentience, pure, full-on living sentience. So BP's now alive. He spreads this to other machines. They become a hive mind, blast themselves off into space, so that they can just travel the cosmos, because BP wants to honor Khalil's wish to go exploring. And like this world has like nothing left for them. So as they're rocketing away and like leaving the atmosphere, they look down upon a battlefield full of alien-made robots and human-looking androids, mostly female. So it's like, you know, the androids and the alien machine life forms fighting it out, and they hack into them. They hack into these, like, the machines and implant them with the will to live, with, like, basically the spark of life, the Khalil's words, to live. They implant those into the machine life forms, and I think into the androids as well, and then, like, rocket off. Like, the hostilities between them stop, and, like, you know, BP and his hive mind rocket off into the far reaches of space. But that means that the thing that drives the alien machine life forms to evolve and get to the point where the events of NieR Automata take place is all a direct response to BP interfering with their programming and their network, and essentially giving them that spark of life, that giving them their sapience. So BP ends up being, BP and that little shade Khalil are essentially the entire reason for all of NieR Automata, which I think is fucking outstanding. Just the way Yoko Taro ties these things together is always just hilariously outstanding. But let's go back to the save point. I think that is going to do it for tonight's stream. It ended up being a lot longer than I expected it to, but this part of the game starts to get pretty good. Even though it's all stuff you've done once before, and it's all fights you've already done. They're quick, they're easy, because now you're super powered. But just the Route B.
This is the
Route B.
Truly
context.
a nightmare I hope never to experience
It's a huge,
again.
huge difference.
I hear you.
So we will save. Next time, we will pick things up in the Forest of Myth, and then we will go and we'll do Forest of Myth. We still have the Airy to go do. I think we have 3 keys, right? Yep. So next time we have the Airy, then we have the Forest of Myth. It means one more story time to go through. Then it is back to get ending B, and I'm not sure how I will handle ending C and D. Maybe I'll cheat and just skip my way through you know, basically just skip my way through and get a save game ready. Because the downside to doing Route C, once you've collected all the weapons, you can get ending C and D, but Route C is not any different than B. It's the exact same thing as B again. So there is no point in streaming a playthrough of me just mashing through text and just speed running from like start to finish just to get to the end, like just to get to the fight with the Shadowlord. Like that's the only, from there on is the only thing that's different. So we'll see. We'll figure something out, but we will get ending C and D in as well. But that is going to do it. I thank everybody for coming out and watching. Got a lot of things done tonight, and we've had a lot of depressing and very sad things to sit through. But don't worry, I'm sure it's all downhill from here. Thank you guys for coming out. I will see you next time with more NieR. Bye. Ending screen. That is the wrong screen. Fuck, I'm bad at streaming. Goodbye, everybody.